There's nothing wrong with being a Green Lantern nerd. You guys don't know what that means. That's totally out of context. But you know what? You should know that there's nothing wrong with being a Green Lantern nerd. That's just a fact that you should have in your heart, in your soul, in your mind. Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all of the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk.
Mostly drunk.
I love that I get to tell that stupid joke every episode. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host and brother Bill. How you doing?
Not good, man.
You're not good?
Oh. It's been a rough day.
That is true. Day after St. Patrick's Day is a rough day for a lot of people. It's the national, it's one of the many national hangover days.
I had to get drunk twice yesterday. Once for St. Patrick's Day, and then another time for Doesn't Hold Up.
Yeah, once for work and once for play. Yeah.
I can barely talk right now, so I'll be eating pineapple, which has been helping. I couldn't talk literally an hour ago.
Well, that's good. The pineapple is the cure to what ails you.
At least if you can't talk.
Laryngitis. Oh man, I'm so
too loud in bars. Can we say that?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Why does it have to be so fucking loud? Why is the music so fucking loud? I lost my voice 15 seconds into walking into the fucking bar. No bullshit. I knew exactly when I lost it. I was like, just lost my voice. Why is it so goddamn loud in here? I said it out loud, like, why is it so goddamn loud in here? But it works.
I feel like they just crank up the noise when they think that there's going to be more people, like just to like cancel out the talking noise. But I don't know. I feel like that's a fool's errand. And you just make people
remember. The louder it is, the less you notice how shitty it looks.
That's my philosophy through life. That's why on my first dates I scream at the girl whatever.
Oh, it's really nice to see you.
Don't look at my face.
Come here a lot.
Guys,
as much as I can scream. That was me screaming.
That was his outside voice. But man, we are so excited about tonight's episode. Yeah, who wouldn't be excited? It's an exciting time.
What's up, Othelius?
What's up, Othelius? We are talking tonight about Halo Season 2. We are talking about Invincible Season 2. And we're talking about Shogun. And as always, we're talking shit. But before we... just a little bit of shit. Just a tiny little droplets of shit. I didn't mean for that to come out so graphic, but
crazy how when we get off of certain shows, we're talking less shit. Odd how that works.
Yeah, weird how that works. R.I.P. the idol. But before we talk about what we're talking about, I should introduce our panel. Rex Explode is up in the building. What's up, Rex?
Not much. I'm excited to be back. Excited to talk some more Shogun and Invincible's finally back.
Right.
Even Halo's good right now. We're in a golden age of TV.
That's right. Rex Explode, Jeff has a video series about to come out in parallel with these episodes that we'll be covering here on about Invincible.
Indeed.
There was definitely a couple extra takes, and I realized it's better it's about Mark. Turns out that was way easier than saying Invincible 7 times a fucking we're past a couple minutes and 7 times a fucking video. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, the Mark is much easier to say than Invincible.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi,
What's
Mark.
Up, Mark. Oh, Mark.
But before we talk about what we're talking about tonight,
this pineapple is good, and also I can talk.
Who doesn't love
tell me you've grilled some pineapple before, right?
Ooh,
yeah, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, but definitely
you have to have a grill. But oh man,
we just went to a Korean barbecue.
That explains it. Yep.
Indeed.
Do it,
man. Y'all making me hungry. But yeah, before we talk about what we're talking about tonight, just doing a little home cleaning, let you guys know what we got coming up on the Drunk Banthas Drunk Banthas channel soon. As you guys all know, he's sweating. He's so excited.
Yeah, Korean barbecue and whiskey.
Turn the AC down. I'm about to get up.
As you guys know, the Oscars just ended, but the Drunkies are still to come. Yes, the second annual Drunk Banthas Award Show, aka the Drunkies, will be dropping this week. It's our award show where we celebrate all of our favorite sci-fi, fantasy, and horror movies and TV shows of last year.
Animated too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we also have a best cameos category in there as well. If you have
the categories you really care about, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, the categories of the people, really.
Yeah.
If you have a paid membership with the Drunk Banthas channel, you can check out the full unedited version right now. But if you want to see, it's the host with the most, your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, Bill I Am. That's not, I take that back. I feel bad for even saying that. It's Bill.
It was me.
Bill right here.
I was drunk.
Hey, it's one of the perks of the job. You get to get drunk.
Would you say you were drunk E?
Ooh, drunk E. That's a nice little adverb.
Shout out to Morgan. What up, fam? Happy Monday. I was gonna call you today, but can't talk good. I had to save my voice just for this. I haven't talked all day, really. Like I've been talking like this almost all day.
It's a real dick move when St. Patty's Day is on a weekday.
That's why put St. Patty's Day on a school day? I'm so excited that 420 is on a Saturday. Like I'm over the moon.
Well, for that asswipe leap day, we would have had St. Patty's on a Saturday and 420 on a Friday. It would have all been great.
Oh man, that would have been great. Fuck leap day.
Fuck leap day.
But if you guys want to check out the edited version of the Drunkies, it'll be dropping on Wednesday. Also, my drunk review of Dune Part 2 is dropping this week. I'm saying that out loud, so the shame will just wash over me, and I can get my lazy ass up and actually finish editing this video. But you guys can check it out Friday. I'm telling myself it's coming out Friday. So
if it's not here on Friday, bad news for you, because I get paid Friday. I will buy and ship Bill a giant bell to just ring in your fucking shame.
Hey, yeah. Hey, if you get homegirl from Ted Lasso to do it, I will miss that deadline on purpose.
Also, send me a megaphone. Send me a megaphone. Make you know how much shame he has. That'd be great.
But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty and the gritty. Let's talk about FX's Shogun. It's a really great episode. This season continues to impress. Ophelia says, chat, there's probably a lot to edit in the Drunkies. Y'all niggas were toe up. Yes. The Drunkies actually, like, the full version is like an hour and 15 minutes. The edited version is like, I think 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
I'm amazed by how short both of those are.
Yeah, it was surprisingly short for how fucking wasted we were that night.
What up, Nine? What up?
What up, Nine?
Shout out to everybody watching from Twitter, Nerds at Night, and the Drunk Banthas channel. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit that bell. Alex, go tell them about what we saw up there at Shogun.
Yeah, it was a pretty
before the episode come out.
It was a pretty crazy episode. Before the next one comes out very soon. We're talking Shogun Chapter 4, The Eightfold Fence, which I really liked how that got described later on in the episode. Really interesting episode, like a very contemplative, a lot of like conversations. This is not action packed, though this show doesn't like tend to be action packed throughout. But I really liked how slow and contemplative it was this episode before things just got nutty nuts in the last 15 seconds. Nutty nuts.
Okay.
But
like, by the way, that's like crazy, not like pornographic.
Hey, two things can be true.
Volcanoes dos.
Before we get into the minutia of the plot, let's talk about initial thoughts. Bill, what was your initial
thoughts? Is exactly what Ophelia said right here.
Yeah,
Jeff was right. They pulled a Last Samurai on us and had Mari and John hook up.
Cheeks.
And you know what? To that, I have to ask, I have to ask just one question.
You didn't see that coming?
That was good. The timing and that was really well done. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
That's odd.
You didn't see that coming?
But yeah, did you bump up against that at all? I guess since we're talking about initial thoughts, just like of the episode, that's something you saw coming.
Well, I was the one who was like, I hope it doesn't happen, but yes,
Yeah.
Thank you, producer Frothy in the building.
Filling in for producer P, not because she's out, just because she sucks. She doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do a goddamn thing. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought, her demeanor and his demeanor after the sex.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, chill, and she even was like, "Oh, that wasn't me. That was old girl. I don't know what you're talking about." You trying to say all of us look the same,
right? You pulled a Black Dynamite. He's like, "Hush up, little girl." A lot of people got that kind of name. Yeah, she was smooth with it. What about you, Rex? What were your initial thoughts on this episode?
Honestly, so just going right to that part, I had the same feelings as Bill. I was like, come on, really? Are we really fucking doing this? It's just annoying at this point. Like, all right, every time there's an attractive leading guy and an attractive leading girl, they don't have to hook up, or at least not right away. And then it was just kind of confusing how they're like trying to make it seem like maybe it wasn't Mariko. And it's like, what? Like for a second, I was so confused. I rewound it. I was like, what the fuck? No, that's her. Like, I get it. They were trying to keep her in shadow, but that was clearly her. I don't know.
No,
So
I was the same way. Because it was so dark, I was like, wait, did I miss something? Was that not her?
Right? Yeah.
Am I tripping?
And yeah, it was just, and it's funny too, because it's like, all right, she's not talking like that because she's like, yo, dude, keep it quiet. I don't want my girl knowing. She can't speak English, like,
right, yeah.
So they could have talked about whatever the hell they wanted, but it was just, yeah. So that part I found annoying.
I'll be speaking in the chat a lot because I can't talk.
No, you're good, man.
So if y'all get up in the chat with me, you know what I'm saying? I'm there. It's me.
Bill says, clearly y'all fell for the okie doke. Yeah, so
well,
for sure.
I love Othelius's next comment.
Oh, Othelius says Fuji is the best girl. The minute Shouty upped minute Shouty upped the blick on the ops, I was in love.
That's right.
Sorry, I was reading from the wrong place. I was like, why am I reading this tiny type? Why not read the big type?
The one you just pulled up, yeah. But yeah, that was such a dope scene because she does not like John Blackthorn, Blackwater.
Oh yeah, Blackthorn, yeah.
She does not like him, but like, no, she's still gonna step up. She's still gonna be who she's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. Also because, and maybe this is because I'm an American, but I was just like, doesn't it seem kind of stupid that he's not allowed to have his, like, yes, they're all allowed to walk around with their swords. And I guarantee they're much more deadly with swords than he is with a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, like, right?
You don't even gotta be good.
With just a knife. A knife is more effective. I think it's 21 feet than a gun within 21 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And these are trained samurai with swords. Like, come on. So it just felt like a very just weird hill for what's his face to choose to die on.
Yeah.
And so it was already just confusing to me. But then when she stepped up, I was like, all right, that's fucking dope. And then when she gave him the swords, was like, which also when she gave him the swords, my thing, it was great because the entire time I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, dude, Blackthorn, if they won't let you have your guns, at least say, then give me swords. Like, you're still stepping down and you're still giving them the power here. So I just thought that was silly. But the thing is, I'm thinking she's going to start having a thing for Blackthorn.
Okay.
It starts with that respect.
Yeah, like Last Samurai. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like his whole character kind of annoys me in bits, but
So,
you'll get into that
real
in a
quick to Bill's point there. That's not true. He's got 2 shots. Those are those old school pistols.
Yeah, Bill says in the comments he don't even have to be a good shot with the gun though. He just pray and spray.
Yeah, but he could pray and spray. You just pop, pop, but don't nobody want to die. So when the first person get it, then everybody else will be like,
everybody just runs. It's a natural reaction to run when a gun is shot. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's just I think it makes more sense to stand there and just yell at the guy that's pointing a pistol at your face.
I mean, yeah, that was the way in the Civil War. You just like stand in front of each other and shoot each other, and whoever lives last is the winner.
The fact that I think that was was that Civil War too? I know it was Revolutionary War.
Oh, Revolutionary War.
And I know the whole fact that they're not standing there waiting for us to shoot them. They're tricking us. It's like this is okay. You know what? You don't deserve a country.
You deserve to die. But
I hope you
burn it.
YouTube has some crazy emojis, yo. I don't even know what some of them.
Oh yeah, those
mean,
are some very YouTube specific emojis. I've never even seen that shit before.
That was what everyone that's like, oh God, is he going to shoot at them? Is he going to shoot the guns? Now, I don't know why it's not like this, but whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. They got some weird, like, old school Viacom MTV days.
Very, very specific. But yeah, at the beginning of this episode, during the first week, what's his name? Blackthorn is given the responsibility to train what's his name? Toranaga's army? No, Yubashige.
Yabushige.
Yeah, Yabushige. Goddamn. Man, I'm gonna get canceled just from trying to pronounce names.
You pronounce his name wrong. It's Hatamoto.
Oh yeah, the Hatamoto was
right.
Was
he got the little title, right?
Yeah, he got the stripes. You know,
but they still call him Anjin.
Oh yeah, they do still call him Anjin
because he's white.
Like it's his name.
They still racist.
He's like still racist. He's like Paul Atreides, where he has like 5 names on this show.
God. Yeah, you know why he's got 5? You know why Paul Atreides has 5 names? Because Paul is a terrible name for a Messiah.
Right?
But, I'm gonna call you Maladib because that's
we'd like to introduce you to the Son of God, Ted. No one's following Ted, man.
Ted. I ain't going nowhere with Ted.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call you Kwisatz Haderach instead because that's way cooler. But yeah, he during the first week of training the army, Blackthorn teaches the army the basics of English naval combat, first helping them improve their efficiency with the cannons, and then later Jozen, Ashido's aide, arrives and tells Yabushige to return to Osaka to pledge his loyalty to the remaining Daimyo regents. Knowing that his return to Osaka will likely end in his death, Yabushige invites Jozen to stay the night for a demonstration of the cannons the next day. This is just like I really liked all this just because it's just like another example of the polite society in this era where it's like we're gonna like there's all this like society. Pleasant. I'm sorry. That was a good movie.
That was my Ruffalo. That was my Mark
Ruffalo. But yeah,
shout out to Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, shout out to Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, we smoke weed with Mark Ruffalo.
I do have some like friend of the show. I do have some friend of the show, some real friend of the shows to give out later. So don't let me forget.
Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna put in the. We should have a shout out hour.
And this like, yeah. Oh, remember him from the?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I want to.
Oh yeah, from Warrior. Yeah. But oh yeah, that's a teaser. It's a teaser. But yeah, like all this like pleasantry and cordialness like in between these people while they're still like murdering each other in the night and just plotting against each other. Like, how do you?
Hey, buddy, just come on back to Osaka. It's fine. Just come on. I mean, we're gonna have you cut your stomach open, but no big deal. It's okay, bud.
And that's a level of the
You
pleasantry.
don't want anyone to call you rude.
Yeah, you don't want to be rude, do you? That's a part of the pleasantry. He's gonna go back to Osaka just to kill himself, basically, because they tell him to. It's bananas. But how do you feel about that?
Do you know how they were supposed to do that? The goal was to be so disciplined you could, while pulling up, carve an entire S before you died.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Oh my
They're
God.
fucking insane.
Weird goals, bro.
Right?
That's so
yo. Can we just talk about how depressing it was to live in Japan?
Yeah, feudal Japan. I would not time travel there.
She told that story about the earthquakes and just how Japan is the harbor of death and evil.
Yeah, land of death.
And I was like, no wonder they just commit suicide. Like,
excuse you, I think you mean seppuku.
Seppuku is Latin for suicide.
Fucked up suicide.
Yeah.
Seppuku.
Not,
trying to spell an S in my chest. Like, what?
Oh man, yeah. But I'm sorry. What was the original question?
Oh, just what did you just like think of? Like the environment here, like these pleasantries.
I gave my answer. That's what. Yeah, I gave my answer.
I thought it was from what I understand. I think it's I liked it because it was pretty accurate. Not just the part where it's like, oh, they hold honor so strongly, but the part where they're actively betraying each other. Well, I think I said it last time. They're holding to the letter of the law, not the spirit, with their promises. And I think it's really interesting because, look at other samurai things we've seen. Last Samurai is a great example of, no. The samurai are always honorable. They'd rather lay down and die before someone impugn their honor. Whereas we got Yobushige, he's like, no, it's cool. No, it's a misunderstanding. It's not a big deal. I mean, come on. I don't got if push comes to shove, he'll go back. But he's doing everything he can to get out of it. He's playing both sides. I'm really liking that they're showing there was honor with the samurai, but they were still fucking human. I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. And Bill, I'm curious what you think about this because Morgan just brought it up in the canon. I mean, in the chat, he was spot on with those cannons, though. Yeah, it's like he had the auto lock on Battlefront, like just like lock right in. Like, what did you think of him like training the army?
Careful when that happens with League of Apex Legends.
Ophelia said before that, John was like, "Bro, we British, we don't fight. We got Navy cannons. We got Navy and cannons, dog.
And we don't fight, we shoot.
We an island, okay? We just like y'all. We shoot. Y'all ever try shooting? Yeah. Have y'all ever tried shooting?
It's funny how they got a guy who's not in the army, but he just happened
But the dude was like, after they got massacred with the cannons. At the end, he was like, "You guys ain't nothing but a bunch of savages." He's like, "This is no honor in this." Got my arm over there looking like spaghetti. What's wrong with y'all, man? Y'all are fucking crazy, man. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a very Rick James. Y'all, they should have never gave you niggas better.
Well, I do think it was also interesting how, like, when he's trying to be like, "Yo, we got fucking white tactic. Let's just blow the hell out of the wall." And they're all sitting there like, "Man, we had cannons. What do you think? You can't do shit with cannons." And he's just like, "Or you can aim it. Cannons have improved since the Portuguese got here, man." Like,
yeah, they're better now.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah,
just a little bit. But yeah, I thought that was like an interesting situation, just because like, even the guy who he's not actually in the Navy, but he's just knows enough about the artillery. Is like, well, I mean, you could just do this.
I mean, isn't the point that he's lying? He actually is a pirate. He's probably like a privateer, man.
Yeah, I would. You know what? I could see that. Yeah, like because I don't feel like we've learned everything about his past.
I think that's also what Mariko, excuse me, was hinting at when she was, reading his books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
my guess would be that he's actually a privateer. Like, he's a pirate, but he's a pirate that the Kingdom of Britain at the time, I don't know what they're calling themselves, the British Empire, that the British Empire is like, yeah, you're allowed to pirate as long as you pirate them, and we won't arrest you and let you have money.
That's what they did. That's what they did. What do you call it?
Privateer.
West India Company. West India.
Yeah, West India Trading Company.
Yes, but the actual privateers were through the specific countries though, because the whole thing was, I actually took a fucking pirates class in college. So the whole thing was,
there's a pirates class.
I took a pirates class and then I was a TA for it for 2 semesters. It was fucking dope. I went drunk so many times. It took me a long time to graduate college. But
so Wilder, I would be mateys.
Right. So the thing was, everyone was like, oh no, pirates, they're the scourge, they're the worst, blah, blah, blah. They're the worst thing about the new world and all this. But then someone was like, or we can catch them and we can be like, hey, so we're going to hang you tomorrow, or you can be a pirate for us. And they're like, oh yeah, it sounds way more fun. Let's do that. So it was literally just like, you get to keep going on. Just when you see this flag, don't fuck with that shit. That was it.
Yeah, Morgan said in the chat, he's a spy for the English Queen to find and set up trade with the Japan Islands. It's a spy move against the Portuguese.
That makes sense, honestly.
Somebody read the book.
Yeah, because it's less believable to think that he just kind of went on this crusade against the Christian church. He's like, I'm going to do this just because I hate them so much.
Right.
And it makes more sense if he was like sent on a mission from someone.
From God.
I'm on a mission from God.
We're on a mission
but my God, not your
God. Fun fact, the first chase scene in that movie is down the street I grew up on.
There we go.
Really?
Just so y'all know that we're talking about Blues Brothers, and that's in Chicago.
Fuck yeah.
Chicago.
Shout out to the gods.
Love that movie.
Correct.
Correct. And Athelia said in the chat, Mariko called him out. Motherfucker, you better tell us about a battle you actually was in.
Right? I love how she does not give a fuck. She's calling everybody out, and then she's being so polite about it.
She's technically royalty, which we find out in this movie, right? I mean, this episode, right?
We find out that her family's got something going on and they got some past, but she never said who.
Well, she said, I thought she said her last name.
She didn't.
That would make her the first. That would make her either like the daughter of the first guy who just died, or like the granddaughter of the
Taiko
Shogun. The Shogun who was the ruler who passed away. And left the 5 guys.
The Taiko.
Yeah.
The guy who set up the regions.
I think that was either her dad or her grandfather.
That makes sense.
The way that they're showing her reverence, like,
yeah,
everybody giving her like a pass except her husband.
Yeah, you seen how hot she is? I would too.
Oh man,
but she's a woman, so we know women don't get no love in societies like this at those time periods unless they were some type of royalty.
That is very true. They're respected, but they don't like. She's allowed to say more than I would think the average woman of the time is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like an interesting amount of agency that women have in this
agency.
Time.
Okay, I'm so happy because my brain, that's what I heard too. And I was like, don't say it, don't say it.
Did you say agency?
No, that's great. That's great.
You just saying that because she's a woman? God.
No,
I did like how sorry,
these emojis these emojis are wild. I'm just gonna start clicking up.
But it is strange, like, you know, that there is a amount of agency and respect that women do have in this time where, you know, they're all trained to fight and they are given a certain amount of respect. Like nobody's going to overstep these women to a certain extent. But then also it does seem like they're just pretty much controlled. It's a weird dichotomy with this relationship with the women and the men here.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'll be using them 480 SAT words. But we mentioned a little bit.
Spells sat.
Othelia's Bill trying to set his bro up. Yeah, bro. All news is good news. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to get us canceled. Then we move over to the Patreon, and that's when the big bucks started.
It's like that time we had a guest on, and she's like, "You have to look inward." I was like, "Did you say the N-word?"
Ava say hi. Shout out to Ava say hi.
Ava say hi. I'm so
Friend
sorry I did
of
that
the
to you.
show.
You did nothing to us, but I did that to you. I apologize.
Did nothing. I heard that.
Please. Yeah, go check out the Doesn't Hold Up episode. Longest Good Night.
Yeah, great
Great
episode.
jokes, great time.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier, but let's get into it. The dinner scene with Blackthorn. At dinner, Blackthorn gives Fuji one of his guns as a token of gratitude. And in exchange, she gives him one of her late father's swords.
Grandfather. Was it her father? It was her father.
I thought
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
her
her
father.
father. Yeah.
It was her father.
And before we get into what happens later that night, I'm curious what y'all feel. Do y'all feel like that was an equal exchange of gifts? Like, I feel like her gifts was way better than his, right?
I'm about to do a shot. I guess it depends on where you come from culturally. Because if you never seen no guns like that, then you probably like, oh shit, that's really fucking cool. What the fuck I'm supposed to do this? I don't know how to use it. And then you give the swords, it's like, thank you. These are some dope katanas, but I don't know how to use these motherfuckers. I don't know nothing about them.
I'm just gonna hang them up on my dorm room wall. I'm
gonna put them on my waist so that don't nobody fuck with me.
Right. People gonna think that I know what I'm talking about.
Nobody.
Man, you just know he's gonna trip.
I don't want to pull this one.
You know, you just know he's gonna trip and somehow cut a toe off.
Oh,
yeah, man, this thing ain't sharp. Dude.
That would be hilarious.
It's like it'll
still be in the sheath.
I know everybody always wanted a lightsaber, but I never wanted a lightsaber. I'm gonna chop my arm off trying to use it, right? Just be like, doing all the tricks. I can do the trick, and then all of a sudden, I hit my back. Then it go through my arm, and then my whole lightsaber fall off, cut off my head, or gave me a bad haircut at the very best.
Yeah, those things are so dangerous.
Why you want one?
The earliest Jedi actually started with 8 arms, and the best of them still had 3 at the end. Yes.
Yeah, all the Jedi back in the day in the older Republic, like General Grievous, where they just had a bunch of arms.
Real Mecha Shiva shit.
Mecha Shiva. But yeah, I did find that kind of funny. How Fuji was like, I can't get jiggy with this shit, but she was still nice enough to be like, well, here's my most prized possession in my life.
And to your question, so the funny thing is, I'm thinking that what it comes down to is both of them think it's the same, like equal exchange, but it's not. So Blackthorn is like, yeah, this is my best gun, man. This is a great tool of death. It is. Yeah, she's earned it. And she's giving me swords, tools of death. Totally the same. And she's sitting there and she's like, he gave me one of his most prized possessions. I'll give him one of my most prized possessions that basically is considered to have a part of a samurai soul in it. Yeah, this is an equal exchange. So they both think it's equal. And thank God they can't talk yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that language barrier is helping him out on the disrespect of the of the gift exchange. But then later on, there's another gift to be given. Mariko sneaks
a bone.
Rim shot. Mariko sneaks into Blackthorn's room.
Well done.
At night and sleeps with him, though acts coy in the morning about their romantic entanglement. Yeah, like I already mentioned earlier, we kind of saw this coming with
I didn't see it coming this quickly though.
Me either. It kind of felt out of nowhere,
right? Like I watched. So we did. So everyone watching right now probably knows, but so we broke this down last Monday. The episode was out by the time we finished the podcast. So that Tuesday I watched it and I was like, motherfucker, we were just complaining that this is going to happen. At least not yet. No.
Oh man, yeah, it's I was gonna say it came fast. I feel like that's really. I feel like there's a joke in there.
I mean, do you see how hot she is? It probably did.
She's incredible, and I do want to. I'm curious how you guys feel, and like Bill, I know you're having some vocal issues, but I'm very curious to how you felt about their relationship and also Kate's performance, because I feel like, we just got done watching Monarch. We talked about this a little bit on a previous episode, but I feel like she is leagues beyond her acting in that last episode. I don't know if it's dialogue or whatever, but
no, it's what I told you when we were watching the Monarch. We were covering it. I was saying, I think that a lot of her performance issues must be that she's a Japanese actress and probably has done a lot of things over there, or at least content that's based mostly in Japanese. And it's a different delivery. And I just think that acting wise, she needed to, she was giving the same delivery as she would if she was speaking in Japanese, I feel like. And so in this, she's supposed to have like a Japanese vibe to her delivery. So I think it's just off-putting for American ears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For people, what we're used to as far as in our cinema and television.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think you're touching on something really interesting, because it's.
I'm very interested. Stupid.
I'm a very interesting person.
If you're watching right
Dumbass.
If you're watching right now, we really appreciate you. It's about 30 of y'all watching right now. 32 people's watching. Go over to the Twitter. We got a poll for Invincible season 2, episode 5. Did you love it, or was it meh?
Was it meh? Oh, I'm excited to see what those results are.
Going over there right now. It's drunk underscore Banthas. Drunk underscore Banthas. Go over there.
I know Joe totally thought the poll was going to be, is Bill interesting?
Start another poll.
We don't need a poll for that.
Start another poll.
But no, to your point, like I've said in previously on the pod, and I think we've had like several conversations about this, how just speaking outside of your accent can diminish your performance, because you're focusing on another thing.
Don't do it.
And this actress, don't do it. I think that this actress spent half of her like time in Japan, half her time in Australia. She has like a little bit of an Australian accent. Oh, New Zealand. Yeah. So I feel like both of those things, like just acting from like, I don't know, how Japanese acting is just like a little bit different than American acting as far as like cadence and everything, and also her just like trying to speak with an American accent. That was like double whammy for her on Monarch, where she just like sort of diminished performance. But I think she's been really good. What about you, Rex? What do you think?
So just look at the difference in volume you tend to get. Like Americans, we just, God, when we enter a room, hey, what's up? And it's like, that's just like a normal, nice conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas like, look at how she's talking on this. Like, even when she's like, everyone, please calm down. She's like, please calm down. Like, she's not, raising and yelling out. So I think like even something like that was just so different for her with Monarch. I feel she's in I think you guys are right. I think she's just in a much more familiar atmosphere with this. Outside of Bluey and Taika Waititi, I don't know much Kiwi cinema. So I don't know if they're yellers like we are, but I don't think they are either. And yeah, I think she is easily, when this show started, I was like, oh man, Hiroyuki Sanada, that's it. That's going to knock this out of the park. Kate's giving him a run for his money.
Yeah. Honestly, like,
and I do not say that lightly. I fucking love that man.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's hasn't been given a lot to do. I feel like the last couple of episodes, he's kind of been as the back burner. I thought he was going to be the Tony Soprano of this show.
Yeah,
like, he was like the main focus. But the focus kind of shifts from episode to episode, and it's definitely focused more on Kate and White Boy in these last couple of episodes.
Man. By the way, I figured out one of the things that drives me crazy about him. His like, it took me so long to just be like, oh, He's wearing shitty contacts. He's got brown eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not
That's
even
why
notice
his eyes
that.
look fucking weird the entire time. They're not really blue.
I did not even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to make us
faking the funk.
They try to make us think he's a white devil.
That's the blue-eyed actor.
He's
Who's
not
better
the
than
white
that
No,
guy.
that makes no
He's not
sense.
the white devil.
There's
I'm
no
very upset right now.
yeah. There's a blue-eyed British actor right now who made it to like the third ring of casting right now. Who's furious.
Yeah, right.
Fuck, like, man, I had the blue eyes.
He said they called me in for 6 fucking auditions.
So I used 3 bus
Yeah.
passes.
3 goddamn 3 bus passes, and I took 2 trains. Why the fuck I got to go out to Irvine for a fucking interview? God damn it!
It's goddamn shameful.
And then I didn't even get it.
Didn't even get it.
I'd be goddamn
That's got, like,
myself.
yo, shout outs to actors. You guys are cool. You guys work really, really hard. Jeff's like, take them or leave them.
You know what? Come on the show. Then I'll tell you. Then I'll decide if you're cool or not.
They work hard, but I don't know how.
Especially
cool.
Anna. Hi. I'm white. I got real light eyes, Anna. Come on.
But yeah, let's talk about that finale just to close things out, because
Son of a
my
bitch.
good God, it was something to behold. The next
Son
day,
of a bitch. I'm in.
Son
the
of
next
bitch,
day
shit.
during the demonstration, Nagakado takes matters into his own hands and kills Jozen and his
Fucking idiot.
rich I don't know that word. With chain shots from the cannons, much to the chagrin of Yabushige. What did you guys think of this ending? Like, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's definitely very brutal. Oh, Athelia says in the chat, I think Takahiro Hira. Nah, that's
Takahiro.
Takehiro Hira.
Yes, I think Scorpion is doing pretty good. He's really playing an asshole character very well. Ishido is an asshole.
I don't know who that is, but Scorpion is Hiroyuki Sanada.
Oh, God damn it. This is all right, guys. I'll see y'all later. No.
I'm also not seeing Takahiro in the cast list. So, anyway, back to you.
No, weird.
Weird.
But yeah, Lord Athelia says Lord Ashida is an asshole. Yeah, this whole last scene was like pretty crazy. Kind of came out of nowhere for me. I mean, it makes sense with like that character's decisions, but it was very, very crazy. What did you think of this last scene, Rex?
So first off, I'm wondering if the guy he's talking to. Anyway, yep, okay. Takahiro is Kate's dad. So he wasn't in this episode, but yeah, I agree with him there. He's doing so much better than he did in Monarch too. But so this last scene where we see his
Really?
Yep. That's his actual name.
It's his he's his dad. He's her dad again?
No.
In Monarch, it was her dad.
Oh,
It's just
okay,
that's
okay.
how we know him. So I figured that was easier to say.
Right.
Yeah,
No. Yeah, I was like, wait, did I miss a story point in this show?
No.
This is what happens when I can't
Anyway,
talk.
so
This
so
is a good time
the
for me
last
to say
scene,
something. I only have like 5 words at a time.
So Nagakado, when he shoots the cannons off, first off, he's an idiot, and dude let himself get manipulated so easily by Omi.
Yeah,
and
he
I'll
only
say
said a
this,
couple of
Omi,
words.
great fucking job. You got everything you wanted, and like you said, was just a few words. But the biggest thing about it is with Nagakado doing this, it's something I've thought for a very long time. The advent of guns epically changed war in the sense that you don't need to be that great of a warrior anymore. I mean, Nagakado is I mean, I think we can all agree he's kind of like small and like spindly. And the second he pulls out his sword, everyone's like, dude, come on. You're going to die so quickly. Put it away, man.
Put that thing away.
But he didn't. He won. He survived. He killed his enemy, but not because he has any innate talent, but because he's got the bigger gun. And it's just one of those things where it's like, man, war used to be so different because like you actually had to commit yourself to being a warrior. You had to actually like train. It used to be honorable. Now it's all right. That guy's pissing me off. Chain cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, though there is like skill involved, and I like that they showed how in that training montage how there is skill involved in making sure that things are precise with the cannon. But with all these inventions or accelerations in technology, like the bow and arrow that revolutionized warfare, and then the gun revolutionized warfare, then the cannon, then the nuclear bomb, and so on and so forth. But it diminishes like skill. Like there's not as much skill behind each like evolution of these weapons.
Like say Trump pulled a Trump and just dropped a nuke on someone. Would you say he's got skill?
No, absolutely.
He killed lots of people, but without any skill.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But no, I also, that is a point I should have mentioned. So Blackthorn and the guys that he taught, they do have skill. And I mean, obviously the guys that he taught, they got the skill just by, learning from him. Whereas I'm assuming he probably got the skill by learning from someone else too. But that's the thing. You put in the time to get the skills to do something. And that's the other thing. You also then appreciate it more. Like, it's like the person who picks up a guitar and immediately is just like tearing it up, or the person that puts years in learning to play it. Right. The person who put in the years, yeah, they might not be as naturally talented, but 10 times out of 10, they're the person I want to listen to playing a song more.
Right. It's like the Shaq versus Kobe. It's like Shaq can eat, Burger King and,
right.
and just show up and then put up 40, and Kobe's got to be in the gym every day, every night. And to be who he is, just so
100%. I agree with you. Michael Jordan's the best.
Chicago.
Michael Jordan is the best.
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
He wasn't my favorite player growing up, really, but Michael Jordan is the best. Ridiculous.
Shout outs to Muggsy Bogues. Anybody got any final thoughts on this?
I was a Mark Price guy.
Mark Price.
Mark Price invented the split of the double team.
Hey, yeah. There's a lot of unsung heroes in the NBA.
I was all Jordan and Pippen, but I also literally grew up going to games and seeing them and Robin tearing up the court.
My God, I cannot imagine how great that was. Just witnessing a dynasty.
It's pretty hard to watch basketball now.
Yeah, it's like
when the best player gets carried off the court because he has a cramp. As opposed to Jordan playing through food poisoning.
Yeah, like
right?
It was a different time. Like, I love watching old like 80s and 90s basketball documentaries more than I watch watching basketball games. Like I just want to watch the Bad Boys 30 for 30 instead of watching tonight's game.
Dude. Or like nowadays, I'd rather go watch a college basketball game than an NBA game.
Oh man, guys, check out our basketball podcast.
College basketball is like watching football.
Yeah, they beat the fuck out of each other.
College basketball is like
sports are supposed
football. I'm like, Jesus Christ, can you guys can we just call a foul? One foul.
Check out our sports podcast every Sunday on the 31st of each month.
I thought you were gonna say check out our obvious sports podcast. We don't watch this shit. Nerds.
Hey,
I'm
everybody's
a sports nerd. Huge sports nerd.
Hey, everybody's nerd about something for sure.
I love going to games. That's fun. But anyway,
going to games is different.
Love it.
But any final thoughts on Shogun before we
slap it?
Bring it, babe. Any final thoughts on this episode of Shogun and like what you're like excited about in the future?
Well, yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to share, if you guys would like to know, the 8-folded fence.
Oh, yes. I meant to talk about this. Yes.
All right. The 8 steps are right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. They didn't like lefties back then. Yeah.
Hey, 3 right turns makes a left. Or is it 4 right turns?
It's 3, Zoolander. You're good.
Files are inside the computer.
You sound like George W. Bush.
Yeah, I did really like that moment between Kate and Andrew Lincoln where they were talking about all that. Like it was nice, like sharing of cultures where they kind of get closer.
And you know what? I think that's the good point, is how much of Japanese history and culture they put into this. I was as we know, I like to read the trivias on these. Moss is considered sacred in Japan. At least there were monks who thought so, to the point where for, like they said, I think it was like 1,000 years straight, almost every painting a monk would make would have that moss in it. Oh. And it's just little things like that. And they didn't have to point out like don't walk on the moss. Like they could have easily passed that up and no one would have thought anything. So I like that they're putting little things like that in there.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. I like how subtle this show has been so far. We're building up the war.
He says with the canon episode.
Well, yeah, because every episode has kind of built us up. Like last episode, we got that scene in the forest at night, and then we got the cannon scene today. I mean, well, whatever the fuck. We got the cannon scene in this episode. I think it's a slow build up. I said it first. This is the Game of Thrones in Japan.
100%.
And so I think that we got the same kind of build up, in the first season of Game of Thrones, where it slowly built up. We got some niggas got their head cut off here and there, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't really boom. Yeah. Some kids fell out of windows. Some people's kids died.
Yeah. Things were said. Things were done.
We don't know how they executed the kid. They might have thrown him out of a window.
Exactly. So things can't be taken back.
Yeah.
So I see this being a really good series as far as the build up. I haven't read the book, but apparently they're going really, really close to exactly what happened in the book. So
nice.
Yeah, it's exciting to see how
Morgan. I don't know why it's not letting you be an admin right now. I'll have to figure it out later.
It's really exciting to see this show play out. I do feel like, just because of the similarities with shows like Sopranos and Game of Thrones, I kind of feel like the main character Toranaga, I feel like he's probably gonna die, and maybe Kate picks up the mantle, and she's like more of the main character going forward.
I don't know if they'd let her.
As far as narrative,
I'm thinking Toranaga's going to have to kill his son.
Oh, really?
Dude, that was a rather large escalation, and with how important Honor is.
Yeah. That is true.
The other dude had to kill himself and his son because he spoke when he wasn't supposed to. This is at least 2 steps past that.
Yeah, they even at least 2.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No, but I do like that idea, because like they made a huge point of focusing on just like the polite society of everything, and just being like, oh, this guy had to like wipe out his whole lineage because of
drinking game.
Morgan.
New drinking game. Anytime Alex says point, you gotta take a shot.
Is
Morgan says,
that a thing I do?
Morgan says, I know why now. I was on Nerds at Night. Well, there you go. You're not an admin over there. You know, slow your hoists, hold your hoists, and slow your butt.
Hold on to your butts. But yeah,
even my jokes are cracking. Get it?
Like a butt.
It's
rim shot.
all coming together like butt cheeks.
The only other thing is I also get kind of especially early season game Sons of Anarchy vibes. The power struggles.
Yes.
The person who's kind of coming up, are they going to be able to hold on to that power? All of that. There's I just FX knows what they're doing. FX, I probably trust that channel. Wow. I trust FX more than any other channel right now.
Right?
That's really interesting.
I can't think of another show in the past 10 years that has like delivered so consistently. Because they're pretty good about like having their creators. Like I remember hearing a story about Louis C.K. R.I.P. Louis C.K. But I remember hearing a story about no, he's dead. I remember hearing a story about Louis C.K. like where he like the FX basically let him take like a year and a half off in between seasons just to let him develop it. He's like, they're really great about just like working with creators and just like, oh, we'll give you the time to make the best season that you can, rather than just like, oh, we have to make it come out next year.
But then when they do, they get these types of shows. I mean, look at the shows they come out with. They're always the shows people are talking about. The Shield, Sons of Anarchy, Mayans, which was a spinoff. They know what they're doing over there. It's Always Sunny. I mean, come on.
Right? Yeah. It's so many incredible TV shows. Like per capita, they pretty much
Morgan said they also made the Mayans.
Morgan, I'll be honest, I didn't watch Mayans, so
they don't have a perfect.
But I heard Mayans got better as it went.
You know, I have a friend of mine, one of my friends, she religiously watches Mayans. She's never seen an episode of Sons of Anarchy.
That's so crazy.
I thought that was so funny. It's like, really? What made you want to watch Mayans?
Who's that? No, don't say it.
I don't want to put her on blast.
Have I met this person?
I know you have not met this person.
Okay, then you're a silly, ridiculous person.
I hope she's not watching. Let's be honest, nobody's watching.
Also, check out Sons of Anarchy.
Shout out to all 46 of you who are watching.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Thank you for watching. All the people who are actually watching.
What the fuck you're doing over here? Goddamn, you're just messing everything up.
How about this? If you've seen both in the chat, just put down, do you prefer Sons or Mayans?
Yeah, put in the comments. Like, what do you like?
I said,
Sons,
I've only seen
Mayans?
Sons.
Still go. Remember, we do have a poll over on Twitter. Go check it out. Invincible season 2, episode 5. Did you love it, or was it?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. We're going to be talking about it soon, but right now, we're going to shift the conversation over to A War in Our Stars.
I'm also watching the Knicks Warriors game right now.
You're multitasking.
Twitter's stepping up.
So they got some good shit over here. We're talking about Halo Season 2, Episode 7, Thermopylae. Thermopolize.
I can't sing. I need more pineapple.
Where we ended the last episode in a shared vision of Halo, John and McKee discuss their different beliefs. After being pulled away from the vision, McKee defeats Uto Madama with the assistance of Cortana and determines Halo's coordinates using the stars present in the vision.
I thought you were going to say I thought it was going to be a rhyme, like in the llama.
Yeah.
At least she didn't use her stupid nail blade. God, I hated that thing.
Yeah, they should just keep that away. Let's pretend that doesn't. Let's pretend that doesn't exist for the rest of the show. But yeah, what did you think about just like the opening of this show? Like we see like the continuation of the connection between John and McKee, them communicating through this weird shared hallucination of Halo. Like what do you think of all this, Rex?
Of course, I immediately start coughing. Hang on.
What do you think of this, Bill? I'm sure.
So that was honestly like to me the most boring part of the episode. I was just kind of like, okay, we get it. He's gonna try and be like, oh, but look what we can have, and she's gonna be like, oh, we can have it, but we have to kill the humans, and he's gonna be like, you are human. She's gonna be like, am I? It's a covenant race, man. Like it was just this was very season 1 in the sense like it was so predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get a lot of feels out of it, and I was just kind of like, can we move on?
Yeah, I definitely get that. Did you have the same vibes, Bill?
Yeah, I mean, I see what he's talking about, but that's because they let her talk.
Yep, it's a mistake.
She had a lot of talking. Not that I don't like women talking. I love women talking.
You're not Alex.
I'm going to tell you right now. I love women who be talking.
I didn't hate that movie, Women Talking. Go ahead.
Alex is gonna go on a date, and the girl's gonna like watch a bunch of. Alex is gonna go on a date, and the girl's gonna watch a bunch of these episodes first. She's gonna be like, "Oh my god, he's a fucking misogynist. I can't date this guy."
Oh man, if I had a quarter for every time a date ended that way, I would have no quarters. But
I mean, I'd have to send you the quarters. I've been sending all the girls these videos, so
just out of the street. You wonder who hates women? Alex is awesome.
Othelius has a really good point right there.
Oh, Othelius.
I don't know if it's a really good, but a really spot on.
So why she look like Ariana Grande? You know what? I can't.
She like
I can't
if
picture
Ariana Grande.
Imagine that with a ponytail. There you go.
If Ariana Grande
ponytail,
if Ariana Grande grew up in Michigan, that's what she would look like.
Right, lawless sunlight. You know,
because maybe because McKee's also got shitty dyed hair.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's shitty. You know, it's got
Dude, look at that dude and tell me it's not stupid.
Well,
I mean,
now that's not two different conversations. Actually, I don't hate her haircut. Actually, I'm not mad. I like you, girl. You just got to do better. Well, not you. I don't know. Somebody has to do better.
You know, when I looked her up, she has won some like awards for like stage plays, like acting in Ireland. So she's an accomplished actress. She's definitely no scrub. But
she's Irish.
Oh yeah, she's Irish.
Dude, that fucking explains it.
It's
like she's trying to hide the accent the entire time, and it's still coming through, but not completely. Yeah. Oh my god!
You know that
it's like there was a rock in my shoe in my brain, and you just got it out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He had a nail in his claw.
There was a snake in my boot.
A snake in his boot.
You know, and to that point, we talked about this a little bit last season. There are a few different actors on the show who they don't let them speak with their natural accent, and it just doesn't make any sense because this is fucking sci-fi. Yeah,
right.
Let's like what's the black general who just died in the couple episodes ago. He was British, but he had a fucking weird American accent. Just let the dude be British. His wife's British,
right?
Me and
that would explain him and his wife better.
Me and Eric Martin were talking about that at the bar yesterday.
Oh yeah, shout out to Tig.
Shout out. Yeah, wait a minute. Never mind. I was about to shout out the bar, but I left my debit card there. Yeah, so no shout outs to y'all. Until I get like a 50% discount off of that motherfucking drinks that I got. But
it's a reverse ransom. It's like I'm not gonna shout out your name until you give me my shit back.
No. I'm getting my shit back. I just need a 50% tab. That's it. But
whip my whistle a little bit.
But yeah, man.
Not a sponsor, but could be.
To be fair, this is the only thing I didn't like about this episode. This episode
Agreed.
Didn't have. This was the beginning of it, and they knew they were out of it. You know, this clip here is only 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So.
Right? Like at least they're like, let's just get rid of it fucking fast.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta do this. I mean, we gotta do this. We already committed to this American accent. Like we could just have her do her accent and then pretend like It just didn't happen before.
And so
But we've gone too far. You know what I mean? It's like we've just let it happen. Just let it happen.
They could retcon it like they did the Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles cartoon, where Leo's voice actor quit.
Oh yeah, right.
And he was replaced with Seth Green, and it was literally just after a big fight. They're like, Leo, you sound different. He just goes, yeah, he hit me in the throat real hard, and that's it. That's all they fucking say. It was amazing. I loved it so much.
I love when
So
shows
you sound
do
like
that.
Chris from Family Guy for some reason.
I love when shows do that. Like just acknowledge it and get the hell out of here. Or like when they did that with Brody and Iron Man. Like,
oh yeah. Like,
who else did you expect? Like, I'm here, so get over it.
So
like,
get over it.
Well, and that's the smart way is poke fun at it.
right.
Yeah. That's
Like,
the best way. Hang a lampshade on it.
Like, hey, we're all in on the same joke. That's how you get the audience.
Yeah. And I did like just the damn
Stats.
I did lose my train of thought there. But let's just move on to the next thing that happens in this episode.
Yeah, sounds good.
So what happens next in this episode? You know, we got the Bikini and John reunification. John subdues the soldiers sent after him, and Halsey, Miranda, and Quan investigate the ancient ruins on Onyx, which Halsey believes were built by those who built Halo. And yes, we skipped over this in the last episode just because I didn't feel like there was anything to say, and I figured we'd talk about it a little bit more in this episode. But Miranda's back, who's an actress who's also British, but they make her speak with an American accent. But she actually has a good American accent.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least hers goes through.
Yeah, hers is actually pretty decent. But what did you think of the return of Miranda, Halsey, and the general's daughter? Jeff, what did you think of that?
So I think they did a good job with it. They start with it being antagonistic. Miranda's clearly not happy to see Halsey because, well, duh.
Yeah.
But then things start getting better, and they start connecting more through their shared passion, science.
Yeah.
So it was really great watching them like kind of, it's one of those things where like they're both just like really excited, and then because of that they can relate. And I thought that was great. And I mean, I know it is skipping ahead a bit, but then we get the that really important part near the so first, now I'll just go to this part. Then we get that really important part at the end where Halsey does typical Halsey stuff. She's so intrigued by the mystery and what she's about to learn that she's about to fucking die. But Miranda gets through by calling her mom, which I think it's the first time. I don't think she even called her mom in season 1.
No, yeah, it was a really interesting and touching moment because I've always noticed how she calls her Miranda or Halsey or whatever. Or not yet. Sorry, she calls her Halsey.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
Everybody knows what you're saying.
I think like before her fall from grace, she called her doctor or whatever your last name is.
Look, she looks psychopathic right now, right? Like crazy,
right? God damn.
If the straight jacket fits,
right? Yeah, like I did like that moment because I think that Halsey, I forget the actress's name, but she has a really great performance.
Friend of the
show. She has a really great performance throughout this season because like to your point, her motivation is solely focused on exploration and innovation and the next thing. Like she's so callous about anything emotional or personal, and it's so present in her performance, and she's always just like excited about what's the next technological advancement. So I really enjoyed that part of her performance. But this moment where Miranda calls her mom, it really takes her like it takes her aback. Like she's like, oh shit, I didn't realize. It's like Omni-Man when he saw all those dead Thraxans. It's like, oh man, I wasn't expecting this to affect me so much.
I mean, jumping ahead, God.
I mean, jumping ahead to jump behind. That was last.
Don't forget about the poll. Don't forget about the poll on Twitter. Go over there to the poll.
Don't forget about that Invincible.
Invincible season 2, episode 5. Did you love it? Did you think it was meh? Go let us know.
And Hamsley also had a moment of humanity in a previous, you caught that, in a previous episode where it was watching her husband die. You know, like when her husband's like clearly getting left behind, that's when she freaked out, and Soren had to like pull her away. You remember?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like, yeah, she's this cold, callous bitch, but like in the end, she does like her family does matter to her. You know, that's the only thing that's able to get through all of it.
It's all in the name of science.
She blinded me with science.
Weird science.
You know, this girl was Halsey was in Weird Science. No, I'm joking.
I was about to say that would not surprise me, honestly. She's like that age range where it's like I can see her playing like opposite David Duchovny, and
she's younger than them, so I don't want to say that on microphone. We shouldn't say those things about women's ages, Alex. We know you all. We know you hate women, but I mean, Lord have mercy, man.
But what happens later on? Quan unlocks a doorway into the ancient laboratory where they discover the remains of Rich Homie Quan. Sorry, I pronounced her name wrong. Rich Homie Quan unlocks a doorway into an ancient laboratory where they discover the remains of a forerunner scientist and a city before the three are forced to leave.
Forerunner scientists.
Yeah.
What the fuck that mean?
I don't know. It's just like it's a body.
She had a forerunner.
It's a car scientist.
She drive Range Rover.
So you scientists, yeah, they run on.
You don't think the Autobots had scientists? Come on.
Roll out.
Whatever. Where did I leave off? This helps Quan realize that the monster in her visions is real. What did you think of? What do you feel? How do you feel about Quan's like sort of
meandering?
Her journey in this,
yeah, all of the journey when you have a destination.
Her exodus.
We just don't know the destination yet. But I did think it was interesting, just the way that it was shot. Like there were a lot of moments where they really focused on her, and we just heard Miranda and Halsey in the background. It seemed like there was a lot of focus on Quan's POV. But
Rich Homie Quan.
How did you feel? We're sorry, Rich Homie Quan.
She's getting all the information from the ancient witch, Asian race. I mean, not Asian, but the red lady, red witch.
Yeah, the red witch.
So it was two things. It was Halsey. They duck out the conversation between Miranda and Halsey when you're supposed to be paying attention to Quan, and then they go back and forth.
That was an interesting
to let
choice.
you know what's important. And so she's having a spiritual moment because, like they mentioned, Miranda thinks it was a library. I mean, a religious place, temple, and Halsey thinks it was a library,
laboratory,
or a laboratory. Well, library first, then they go in there and then they find the lab. And I think that they were both right. That it's a library and it's a religious sanctuary because it is documenting their history. Right. It's sanctuary. A library. I don't, but a sanctuary, yeah. They got their history of their lineage and their existence. So I think two things are true, and Quan was able to show them, like, yo, this is a calendar, not a map of the stars necessarily, not just a map of the stars.
Yeah. Which, by the way, two very like senior scientists, neither of them figured out it was a goddamn count. Like calendars made by stars. Calendars made by stars are nothing new. It's what fucking Stonehenge is, man. Come on.
They were having a pissing contest at that moment,
which I got to assume is trickier when you don't got the external genitalia.
Yep, which is why they got their streams crossed.
That's why they're the fair sex. They got to work harder. No, yeah, I did like that. It kind of reminded me, and yeah, everything reminds me of other movies, but it reminded me of that scene in Captain Marvel where Talos is like, "You didn't figure this out. You're my science guy." It's like this is something you should have figured out.
Especially all the humans do it. Yeah.
But I did like that moment where
if you think Captain Marvel sucked, You're wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm
And
not
go
gonna say
check
the
out
dirty words that makes YouTube mad. I'm not gonna say those words. What I am gonna
welcome
say
you to
is-
leave, but keep the video going so we keep getting those watches. Thank you.
Yeah.
and go check out our episode of Does It Hold Up, where we talk about Captain Marvel, because it's a
And
pretty
prove you wrong.
hilarious conversation.
Prove you fucking wrong.
Open your mind. But
I'm too slow for that right now.
what happens next in this one? They do a bunch of
I do think it's just so like, okay, we get it. Halo. Everything's a Halo. We get it. God, just open the door.
Just open the goddamn door.
But like that later on. After they find the Forerunner scientist, this helps Quan realize that the monster in our visions is real. We said that already. Let's move on to Soren. Soren locates Kessler, but loses sight of him and Lyra in a chaotic fist fight. And this is
but I think more important is before that, his plan was just to let Kessler get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing going on there. Like, Soren's definitely got some weird psychological issues going on where he has an admiration, but also hate for the way he's been brought up. How did you feel about Soren's recollection of his experience with the Spartan program?
It wasn't weird to me because he was parented by them, right? They don't know how to parent nobody. I got a son that I need to make sure he's tough enough, not afraid. I want him to grow up to be just like me.
Okay. So I turned out fine.
I turned out just fine.
As he holds up his mangled hand.
Talking about the people who stood by me, no matter what. She was mad about that, boy.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Did not want to hear that shit right there, boy. Don't ever tell the bitch you with that the niggas that you ride harder than she do. Like, no, don't do it. Even if it's true, shut your ass up. Shut your ass up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting moment with the three of those characters. Rex, how did you feel?
All three of y'all.
It was it reminded me of two things. It reminded me a lot of like frat or like sports hazing. Well, like I went through it, he should go through it too. And it's like, that's not a good excuse for like, hey, I got abused, so this guy should too. It'll be fun. Like maybe break that cycle, And it's like the people who were like really pissed off when they were like starting to do the student loan forgiveness thing, and their whole argument was, well, I paid my loans. And it's like, okay. Like one of the arguments I saw that like other people were bringing up was like, you're like, if you had cancer, went through chemo and everything, got better, but now you're pissed because they came up with a cure for cancer for everyone else.
No, man, you have to go through at least 3 months of chemo like I did.
Right? So it reminded me a lot of that, but then also just kind of like over the top boot camp, which is what it actually was. Like boot camp, they don't beat you or anything in boot camp, at least not anymore. I don't know if they did in the past, but they do try and like and simulate it or like get you close to that through like mental things like sleep deprivation and making you work out, things like that. And it was just one of those like, man, it's so funny how badly Soren was just not seeing like, bro, just because you were hurt people, bro, like chill out.
Yeah, like Soren's definitely all up in his feelings. He's very much caught up in the trauma of the, I guess, fulcrum in his brain, where he just doesn't really know what to think of. And eventually he comes out of it, and he decides to save his kid. But to what cost? It seems like his kid.
You gotta pay the cost to beat the balls out.
Gotta pay the cost. Hey, shout outs to James Brown.
But you know what happened?
Friend of the podcast.
I mean, Bo just didn't let that happen. Or he wasn't about to just let this nigga get his ass.
Yeah. Yeah, he finally comes to his senses.
But
and
I think
sees-
it was. I think it was
even-
real last minute. He made that decision, man. I think
mean,
he was
look, it's-
all about it until he saw the guy come with a pipe about to just knock his son's teeth out.
Right. It's like the parent who think they want to let their son play football, but then when they get hit, they want to go out there and whoop somebody's ass.
But then he did.
But yeah, he did. And clearly his son can't play football because you're not ready for that.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
you were not ready for the league. Yeah, it's an interesting, like, really touching moment, and it's kind of tragic where he wants his son to experience this, but then he changes his mind at the last minute. But that's the moment where his kid is taken away, and his kid, before his kid is taken away, he kind of rejects him. He's like, "Oh wait, what is this side of you I've never seen before?"
And Soren just is like, "What? Really? You're pulling away? Why would you pull away?" And it's like, "Motherfucker, you were about to let him die."
But
I think he's pulling away because he didn't know. I think he's pulling away because he's like, "Oh, you just murdered somebody."
right,
So
I don't
I
think
think it
that
was
he
that, too.
knows. I don't think that he knows like the implications of what happened before he got there. Like, I don't think he knew that he was about to let him be subjugated to this hazing, as you said.
You're right, but honestly, the real reason why is because his dad promised he'd come back, and he didn't, and that broke his heart. And then little kid mindset, well, you broke your promise. I was like, well, he wasn't trying to, but it doesn't matter because he still broke his. That's what it was.
Yeah, that would
Because
make
he's a
sense.
dumb fucking kid.
That
Shit.
would make sense for a dumb fucking kid, because like he said he would come back, and he did come back. It was later than you thought, but he's here. I'm back. Goddamn, nigga.
Here I am.
Don't you call me a fucking liar.
Yeah. Better late than never. But yeah, I thought that was like a nice little interesting moment between them. I'm kind of curious what happens between them when we get back to that storyline. But moving right along,
I'm thinking
Uh,
T-ball.
yeah, nice little game of catch to to cap it all off.
Hey, Dad,
but late-
you want to have a catch? I'd like that
You
too.
want to have a catch
You want to have a catch,
like old times.
Man, I gotta go back to the Field of Dreams. That place is dope.
man. I mean, if you build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
KirstYn discovers that the
Speaking
true
of which, if
intent
you're watching right now, go ahead, give us a like, a subscribe, and if that's at Nerds at Night, Drunk Banthas on Twitter, go like us, subscribe.
it's the thing to do. All the cool kids are doing it.
Get it
And-
your girlfriend for
Swag.
Christmas.
And-
You need to get your girlfriend for Christmas. Drunk Banthas.
And comment your favorite baseball movie. Show us you're listening.
Yeah, show us your list. You're really listening. If you comment on this nerd channel what your favorite baseball movie is, we know
Bro,
that you're actually paying attention.
I got an answer, and it's not Field of Dreams.
Oh, it's Angel in the Outfield for me.
Mm-mm.
What? No. It's
Actually, it might be Moneyball. I don't know.
Moneyball is a terrible movie. We're talking. Oh, no.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, terrible movie.
To each their own.
What was that?
Made a lot of money.
Yeah, fucking a lot of shit making a lot of money. Fucking
True that. Avatar made a whole lot of money, and that's not
that was, and that was my favorite baseball movie.
Avatar is my favorite baseball movie of all time. Moving right along, KirstYn discovers that the true intent of the Spartan 3 training simulation is to cause a nuclear reaction capable of destroying the entire star system and even Halo itself. He warns John and Kai about this. Kai decides to go with the Spartan 3s while John goes by himself to do who the fuck knows what. Donning his armor, John steals back Silver Team's Condor and reveals to Halo's location, where the UNSC and the Covenant are engaged in combat.
check that out for me, Morgan. Check that out for me.
Oh, which part?
Yeah,
I'm talking to Morgan.
don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the exact same thing I'm thinking about. Anyway,
Yeah, but go ahead.
But yeah, like, what did you think about this? Well, first of all, what do you think about Perez and
Hate
John's? Okay.
hate it.
Ain't it? No, Perez.
Next.
Are you even pronouncing her name right? That's what I don't even know.
I mean, I say Perez. They've pronounced it 6 different ways in the show, so who knows? But yeah, what did you think of John and Perez's relationship?
I think the last time they called it Smith. Yeah.
Pronouncing it wrong. It's Smith. But yeah, what did you think of it? Yeah, the relationship.
I don't like it. I think, let this bitch die or something.
Let her die.
Yeah, like her character serves no purpose yet. So, like, either kill her off, and like we know that she eventually either will be, or like make her that love interest that you're trying to like set up in some kind of way ambiguously. Like, is he gonna fuck McKee or is he gonna fuck Perez?
Yeah, I do feel like
it's fuck the acolyte.
Yeah, he got thick cheeks.
It's gonna get weird.
Especially like his mouth go.
Yeah, I'm saying predator mouth to do.
Not the only thing that opens like that. Anyway.
Kill her.
Motherfucker's
butt has 4 flaps.
I do like their friendship in the sense that, like, she's a capable military person, but it doesn't seem like there's really a romantic relationship between the two of them. He does seem like he's still enamored with McKee in one way or another, and this just is like sort of another avatar of his humanity that he's trying to connect with. But these, like, the old lady in the shop, the old lady from the first planet, and Perez, I feel like there's these like little aspects of humanity that he just has to like sort of tap into before he realizes that he's a real person, like that he's actually been able to.
Damn it, you still beat me to
it. He's been able to actually, like,
I can barely even talk too. I didn't know if it was going to make it or not. Didn't know if that was actually going to work.
But yeah, did you like the aspect of him just like sort of getting in touch with his more human side in this episode, because he has a little monologue?
I like the idea behind it. I don't think they explored it well enough. I agree with you, Alex. I don't think it's a romantic relationship he's got with her. I think that oh god, what's chick badass Spartan's name? I forgot.
Kai,
thank you. I think Kai and John have the same relationship with Perez, and that's one of a little sister. So I think the whole point is, like, she looks up to them, especially with her going into the Spartan program. It's definitely like she's looking up to them. She's trying to be like them, so they feel a sense of responsibility and closeness to her for that. But the thing was, they didn't, in my opinion, show enough of the conflict that John's got to have deciding to abandon Perez to what seems like a suicide mission while he goes goes to protect the Halo. Like, yeah, it's important. He's got to do it. It is more important than any one person. But I think part of why we had Perez, and especially that long episode with Perez and John, was to show that, like, he's making these connections with people. And I think it would have been a lot harder for him to just leave.
Yeah, I would have appreciated a little bit more connection between the two of those characters. Oh yeah, later. You need that. Yeah, it would have been. You need the fuego. Yeah, it would have been a little bit more interesting if we had that.
DJ Drogas. Sorry.
It would have been a little bit more.
Waiting to do that. I've been waiting to do that.
Oh, okay.
DJ Drogas.
Yeah, DJ Dragass. Yeah, it would have been a little bit more interesting if they had a.
Think it was definitely a U, not an A there, buddy. Drogas.
No. It's Dragass. No, it would have been.
It's Halsey, damn it.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit more interesting if if he had a little bit more
emotion
emotion with, like, leaving her, because Yeah, they kind of set it up where
Pussy.
there's like this suicide mission, and I've grown really.
He's supposed to just be a pussy now.
I've grown really connected to the Perez as a character. Like I really like her as a character, and I was just like, so we're just setting her up to just go fucking die. Like, is that what's happening?
Why not?
Is she gonna die off screen? Like, what's
Alex,
gonna happen?
Do you think that she serves a purpose that can extend beyond this season?
Yeah. Honestly, like I feel like she could be an interesting part of the team of like.
Well, they need a new admiral, that's for sure.
Yeah, they need the
She's
people
got
of color
the biggest
maybe.
rise to the ranks possible.
There are about to be a lot of open positions.
But I like the idea of like these Spartan, like having a person, one of these Spartan threes, a person that's not super powered, but they have these super powered suits. Also working with like the first generation Spartans, and having someone who has a little bit more humanity, someone who's had to deal with their humanity their whole lives, rather than having to rediscover it in like their later, late 30s or whatever.
And she's also two things. So one, unlike her other Spartan threes, who they seem to be all caught up in the we're gonna be badass Marines, whereas she's like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Let's yes, I'm for the mission, but like think,
Yeah.
And Bill, I think the way that they could have done a good like showing the more of the emotion between with her and Master Chief is even just like one simple line. It's just Master Chief being like, damn it, you've got nothing to prove, or some shit like that. Like you don't have to throw your life away. You got nothing to prove. Don't, even just that. And then like him in anger when she's like, I'm doing this, like him in anger being like, well, I warned you, or like, well, I can't be there, or like, and then he just gets angry and storms off. Like, I think even that would have just been, I think it would have fit their dynamic really well.
Yeah,
definitely.
I thought that would have been pretty interesting.
And it's also showing, because another big part of this season is, Master Chief is still a soldier, but after everything Arrakis or whatever the fuck his name is has been doing, Master Chief's not just blindly
Iraq.
Yes, thank you, Iraq. After, nope, already pulling that one back.
Probably not. Probably good.
Solid as a rock. But
that was a great callback. I gotta probably pull that up later.
But after everything that guy pulled, John's questioning his orders as much. He's still about the mission, but he's not necessarily about blindly following orders. So I think that would also fit in really well there.
Yeah, like I really like John's character and throughout this season, but I do feel like they could have done a little bit more with his emotionality in this episode.
Emotionality?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Hit this.
Hey, I know a lot of words. And, hey, yeah.
Stupid. It's emotion. It's emotionilitude. I was trying to do emotion and versilitude, and it did not work well.
No, it worked perfectly.
Emotionilitude. There it is. All right.
Emotionality is the observable behavior and physical component of emotion.
That shit always works.
That's interesting because it just sounds like what you describe a room full of emo kids.
Where are you?
That's exactly what this is.
I'm so sorry.
Instead of a parliament of owls or a murder of crows, it's an emotionality of emos.
Well, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It goes on to say it's a measure of a person's emotionality, reactivity to a stimulus.
Oh, that's actually too good.
Rim shot.
All right, next year we're going to be coming to you live from the Emo's Not Dead cruise. All right, sounds good.
You should see the picture that they got next to this motherfucker emotionality. This motherfucker right here, he is going through it. He is the first emo. He was the first emo ever. This ancient emo.
That's my lord.
Dark Ages emo right there.
But any final thoughts on this episode and how the season is going to play out? We only got one more episode of Halo left.
Shout out to Film Age.
Rex, do you have any ideas how this is going to end?
So it's interesting because with the Spartan 3s, especially with Kai going, it could be I could easily see it being one of three things. One, they do spike it and they all die. Two, they somehow like Kai, Perez, and a couple others survive. Or three, just Kai or just Perez dies.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, I could see a lot of that because the show is not shy about killing off characters, obviously, but they do like the fair skinned characters, so maybe they'll be able to live.
Well,
who knows?
I do think Hamswater is going to die.
Who's Hamswater?
Hamswater, the scientist, the blonde scientist chick. I don't know, the one she kidnapped kids.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
No, I think that she's gonna die in some sort of redemption to save her daughter.
Yep, handy lady. She might do that.
That'd be interesting. I feel like much like I feel like it'd be a little too soon for her to just like make that leap. I would like to see a little bit of more of a slow burn with her. Get in touch with her humanity.
You want them
and
to
have a
burn her
reason
alive?
to
God, you do hate women.
Burn her at the stake.
She's a witch. Oh shit! The Covenant probably would think she's a witch,
right? It's like using all the science and shit. But yeah, I do really like that actress, and I would like to see her just sort of unspool that thread a little bit more of her humanity.
Like bad
Natasha McElhone.
Wait, what did you say, Jeff?
Natasha McElhone.
Oh, that's the actress's name?
Yeah, that's your white woman's name.
Okay, I'm never gonna remember that. I'm gonna call her Hemsworth.
Alex and his white ladies. There it is. Right when he's drinking.
That's a rom-com on AM. There comes on True TV this week.
Alex and his white ladies.
Alex and his white ladies playing after John Tucker Must Die this Saturday afternoon.
Oh, that's too fucking good. I like it.
But
all right, someone who has a paid version of ChatGPT. We want that screenplay. Get it made.
We need it made. Let's do it. Do you have any final thoughts on Halo and like where we're going to go with the finale before we move on to our last subject?
Absolutely.
Cut that bitch off. Next caller.
So the people have spoken. We're to the next topic, the last topic. Man, I know you guys have been waiting on this. We've all been waiting on this
with bated breath, masturbated breath.
We've been waiting with masturbated breath. Oh, it smells like sausage for some reason. It's Invincible season 2 episode.
Something's wrong with your nose. That's a pineapple.
Eating pineapple, Alex.
Episode 5.
Right. You want some? It's right here.
Nah, I'm good. Episode 5. This may come as a shock.
What you gonna do?
Guys, the wait is over. Invincible is back after its mid-season finale, and it's like what a return it was. It had adventure, it had action, it had super violent.
Had commercials.
Commercials. Yeah, man, love that Amazon Prime has started to show commercials again.
I'm not actually mad at commercials right now.
I am.
You know why? Because that's how we get these dollars. Let's get these dollars up. You know what I'm talking about? And if you don't like commercials, you can go ahead and set up a premium account on YouTube. Helps us YouTubers out.
Yeah, it does help. Not gonna lie. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of this episode, I'm curious how you guys felt, because I've seen a lot of like weird discourse online about how people are super mad about this break in the season. Now, did this like
it's called TV?
Yeah, like a lot of TV shows did this on network television. You have like your 12 episodes, and then you do the fall winter break, and then you get the last 12 episodes in the spring. But this is a little bit different. We got 4 episodes, and then four later on. Did you guys bump up against this at all?
Like you
did it
said,
make you-
why do you think I have sex with movies and television?
Yes.
Do you think I have sex by bumping against somebody?
Yeah.
Also, yes. I'm glad we're finally talking about it. Expose time.
Like that is exactly how it happens. You got to bump into somebody several
I
times.
feel like there's a little bit more to it.
Several times.
A little bump and
back and
grind.
forth.
It's right there in the song.
Back and forth and grind.
But yeah, whatever verb you want
man,
to
I
use.
bumped. You know what I bumped up against? I had bumped up against something, and this should be on a Friday. This should come out on Friday, man.
What
or Saturday?
Come out Thursdays?
We get Thursdays, yeah.
Yeah, man. What's up with that, man? Fuck.
Thursdays and
Well,
Friday, I guess.
I remember back in the days of like actual, cable TV, Thursdays were big rating days because a lot of people, on Fridays they go out and see movies and shit.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that
that's why I said
matters as much for
Sunday is
Amazon
that
Prime.
day though. Sunday
Yeah.
is the day. Like because you got the
You still have
Simpsons,
people-
you got because football just goes off at around 7-8 o'clock. Then you got those people like and Living Color did good on Sundays. I'm just thinking big time show.
In Living Color, do you mean Mad TV?
So yeah, it is all about demographics because like one of the reasons TGIF was so popular is because it's all it was
all right.
targeted towards families, and families are either going to go take all their family out to TGI Fridays or like Applebee's,
because when you're lost out there and you're all alone, it's nothing but family.
Nothing but family
that carries you home.
Bow. Yeah, like it's like with Fridays, like it's a good night for family.
You to hold on to.
We're gonna do that part of the episode.
I'm just sorry because look, man, I've been listening. I've been working on that still. The sitcom.
Yep.
But
sorry.
Let's.
We're gonna let you work.
No. I honestly I don't even remember what my point was. Let's just jump into. Let's just jump into Invincible. Because we're this is what we're really here to talk about tonight. We've all been waiting a really long time for.
I think what you were talking about is how
when was the
people
last
were
episode?
upset about
The weight,
length, the weight,
the bumping, not the grinding.
Remember bumping up against the time.
You were asking about how we felt about the break in between.
Right? Does like
how do you feel about it?
Honestly, I'm super invested in the show, so I didn't feel like when the show came back, I was like, I don't even know what happened the last episode. It's like, nigga, I've been watching this show over and over and over again. I watched the Adam Eve's like special episode 2 weeks ago just for kicks.
You can actually go watch that.
Check that out.
That was a hard one for Alex. It's a lot of a woman.
Yeah, it's female led. That's not my bag, but whatever. But like, I'm totally invested on the show. But I also realized that I'm a special creature. I'm a super.
He was
nerd.
in the slow class for a little bit, just a little while. Slow.
I'm super invested in like I've read all the comic books, so I know where the story's going. So I'm just like super invested in this show in general. So I know I'm not like your average viewer, but I'm curious how you guys felt about it. Is like, were you just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll watch this now that it's back?
Nah, fuck that, nigga. I was like, can't wait till that shit come back. I'm so fucking ready for that shit. God damn. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out and lose my voice so I can't even talk about it on Monday. That's what I did, man. I went out and fucking lost my voice, man. Nothing needed to be said about this show.
Yeah, he straight screamed for 96 hours after he watched the episode on Thursday. But what about you, Jeff? Were you less or more excited after this break?
So I was not one of the people that minded the break too much. At first I did, because I didn't know we were going to get one. And I was like, what the fuck? Where's my show? But then I got one of those dry erase calendars for my door because I'm ADD as shit and needed something like that. And there were like 6 shows, I think, that like when I got the calendar, I looked up when they were coming back and wrote them on there. And this was one of those shows. So I was just so happy it's back. I was so looking forward to it. Like sometimes if it's a show I'm kind of about, I'll wait until last minute to watch it before we record. But like this one, nah. I watched it the second I could. I'm very happy with it. And yeah, like Bill mentioned earlier, I'm starting to do videos, just doing a quick breakdown, like 2 to 4 minutes of each issue. And I'm really liking, I think Alex, you and I were talking about this earlier before we started recording. I like how they're fixing a lot of the obvious mistakes from the comic book. And this episode is one of the best examples of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like the whole first season, I was like really surprised by how they just sort of folded the timeline of Invincible.
Right?
They just like really cut out a lot of shoe leather, where it's like, okay, this is a monster of the week situation. We really don't need this. It's interesting ideas, but it doesn't serve the overall arc of the story they're trying to tell.
Well, and also just so like if you guys are watching now and you've never read the comics, like a really interesting choice was in the comics, it's not till I think it's issue 5 that Omni-Man kills the Guardians. In the show, it's the end of the first fucking episode, and it was a brilliant choice. It immediately grabbed you and just pulled you in, and you had to know, why is this Superman I've never seen before killing the Justice League? It was awesome.
Yeah, and like even the when Robert Kirkman even wanted to make that reveal in the comic books even later, but the editor was like, dude, you got to do this now. Otherwise people are gonna just think that this is a regular schmegular comic book.
Which I think that's another good point. This was Image's book. I mean, well over 100 issues, and it was pulling in members of the entire Image universe. This was their Spider-Man for a while, which is interesting because Spider-Man was on it in an issue.
We got to welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage. First of all, shout out to everybody who's watching right now. First of all, shout out to everybody who's watching right now. We got up to 55 people watching. Go ahead and leave a comment, share, chat, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm in the chat because I can't really talk really well. My voice is gone, but
eating too much pineapple.
I'm busting these pineapples out so I can talk every 55 seconds. But right now we want to welcome to the stage. It's producer T.
It's producer T. I
don't know where my,
we just saw his house in the last show.
Right? Yeah, I live right by that.
Yeah, what were your initial thoughts on this episode of Invincible?
Oh man, did we start off strong and violent and funny? I really like what's his name? Shapeshifter.
Yeah, or no, Shapesmith.
Shapesmith. Yeah,
great name.
Because I like that actor. What is
Ben Schwartz?
Ben Schwartz.
Another brilliant voice actor choice.
Yeah, I always liked him in BoJack. He was good in that.
Parks and Rec. Sonic the damn Hedgehog.
Yeah, he's Sonic. Yeah, I was like, he's fucking Sonic.
That Sonic is Jaleel White.
Yeah, no lie. I honestly haven't even seen the Sonic.
He was the first Sonic that ate chili dogs.
No fucking way. All right.
Yeah, and that old cartoon that came on in the 90s.
That one was dope.
Yeah, it was pretty rad.
Also, chili dogs are delicious.
They really are. God damn. I want a chili dog right now. I'm so hungry. We've been talking about food so much in this podcast.
Chili dogs.
But yeah, let's talk about the beginning
Who
of this
the fuck
episode.
is this dude? Like, this is why
Omnipotus.
I gotta start reading the comic books because looks like he was like fucking them up for a little bit. They had to call in a bunch of backup heroes I ain't never seen.
I love this part of. I love this part of the episode, and I want to hear y'all's I guess opinion about this character and just like I guess the stakes that they raise and lower throughout the episode, because in the comics they have a lot of monster of the week situations where it's like, oh, our ragtag members of the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to overcome this pretty silly threat, but. And at the beginning of this episode, they set this character up as like a silly threat, even though it's like a very dark side type character. But it's sort of a red herring, or it's like a bait and switch where you think that these guys have plot armor and they're just going to overcome any situation, but that doesn't really seem to be the case later on. How do you guys feel about just like the way they toy with that tone in the show?
I'll go first. Yeah, because like with this dude, you see him like they have a team assembled, and you're like, oh man, this dude must be the shit because they had to call in like backup squad members for this, and then all of a sudden we see them taking down the Lizard, have to go fight the Lizard League, and the Lizard League has been a complete joke in the show.
Yeah,
right. Every time they show the Lizard League, they're getting their asses whooped, and you're just like, these dudes are pathetic. Right. The rest of this episode, and you're like, God damn, how did they get beefed up? Like, dang, like where was this Lizard League at? He's but you also kind of gotta. I also feel like it was very telegraphed with Rex just hammering on and on about there can't be two world-ending devastating things that could possibly happen. Not, I was like, bro, like. Are you serious? Are you serious, dude, right now? Out of all the shit that has happened to you,
you don't mention the perfect game while you're pitching the perfect game,
right? Yeah, like you really don't think something like you should be on your fucking toes. You should have had called up some of your backups, had them come with you, and just, but you didn't. So that's how I feel. I think it's, I don't know. I guess that kind of serves Rex and the team right, and like they should have known. Don't be sleeping on nobody.
Yeah, don't be sleeping on nobody. It's the NFL, man. Everybody's out here to play. Like you, you need to keep your guard up. What did you think about that whole dynamic, Jeff, between like the beginning of the episode where this, we got this big creature, this Thanos creature, and the Lizard League, and they're the ones who come out on top.
Right. Well, so I really like that
they chose. Look at half of these people. I don't know who they are.
One Punch Man.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. And the funny thing is, in the comic, they just got like Spider-Man chilling in the side and just in the corner, like what? So I really like their choice to just for some reason have what's this thing? I don't know. I like how they just they made the choice to have Omnipotus's nipples out for some reason. Like his shirt covers all, but like you got the nerps, right there. Why not? I think that was a real interesting choice.
Well, he chafes. He chafes. You can't have a lot of
armor chafes.
So it was interesting because in the comic, like they use him to kind of point out, like, dude's a big threat, and also like, hey, with Mark being off world, like Urson,
look at those titties.
And,
those are great.
And in the show, and in the show, they kind of make him out to just be a bit of a, like we said, a bit of a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it was probably a good call though, because in the comic, they're like the one who comes in to save him is Black Samson, and it's just like, oh man, we do not. The less we can say that name, the better. We don't need Black Vulcan shit going on here, man. This is just.
They used to call me Super Bowl.
Because I'm pure lightning in my pants. Great episode of Harvey Birdman.
Oh, so good. So good.
But yeah, so I think like, but it was also in my mind kind of cool doing the switch. Omnipotence is like just kind of like B League or C League or whatever, but the Lizard League, they came to play. So if you did read the comics and you knew them, you got like a little bit of a what, going on. It was good. I liked it. It was a good switch up.
Yeah, I like the switch up too. Like, sorry, now I'm watching this scene, and I'm my brain's distracted.
Well, and it also just, I don't know about you guys, it made me just immediately wonder, like, all right, duplicate. How many could she make?
Also, and why would you never have one that's just
like hanging out at home? Yeah. Yeah.
And like I mean that's my whole strategy. You put clones, duplicates, robots, whatever of you all over the world in secret locations, and you don't reveal all of them. That's how you get taken out.
That would be a very
I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't know nothing about this happening. I was like looking just like this. This is how my face was looking. When I seen this part right here with when Rex gave his little pause, he's like, oh, K9. Well, nigga, I was like, oh shit, they killed that bitch.
And I'll tell you this, I did like that. Hey Rex, fun and games is over, man. It's fucking real. Like Rex Rex has always just kind of had fun with it. It's like, man, you're not on team anymore. Welcome to big fucking leagues, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and Rex is an interesting character because he's clearly just like a fucked up individual. Like he's had a really fucked up upbringing and fucked up past.
Again, perfect voice actor.
Oh yeah, Jason Mantzoukas, his voice sounds like trauma. Like it's just like, it just has this like roughness to it.
There's a reason he plays the characters he plays. Rafi,
Rafi,
Pimento.
Rafi,
yeah, right.
And yeah, he's a great voice actor, and he has a lot of heart to his performance. Like he's always obviously like the comedic relief of the show, but I really like the scene between him and Eve where they where he convinces her to join or to basically start being a superhero again. I'm curious how you guys felt about that scene. Jeff, like how did you feel about like the Rex Adam Eve a scene where he has this whole monologue about their past?
I was happy with it. I was very happy with it for two different reasons. One, we need some motivation to get Eve back in the game. And I like that instead of just being like her just one day going like, oh, you know what? Enough of this. I'm going to pull my bootstraps up. I like that they had Rex actually go there and give her a reason to get back into it and also kind of assuage her guilt a little bit. But then the second reason I love that scene is because just great growth for Rex. Rex is a character that you're meant to hate, but you kind of love and you don't know why. And it seems like that.
Yeah, like I definitely feel the same way.
He's the nigga you love to hate.
Producer T, how did you feel about Rex's growth in this episode?
Oh, I was digging it. I was digging his little growth moment. I don't know what's gonna happen to him, and then if he got, but because I'm not that far in the comics either. But I was kind of happy they're trying to redeem him a little bit. I like to see even the shittiest character assholes even get some sort of like growth to their character, and he showed that. He was still kind of Rexy about it, but I don't, it's not out of character to what he was doing. His growth seemed natural, like it wasn't forced. Like they actually made like that voice acting he did made it seem like this is a real person. Like when I hear his voice now, I know what the actor looks like, but now I kind of see him as Rex more.
Yes,
yeah, like so committed to it.
Yeah,
like like when you start like, I guess they kind of do it with J.K. Simmons, where they start drawing him more like the people that I look like. It's like when you think J.K. Simmons, you think of all these other characters instead of him because he just so gets into the character. And then when you see him in real life, you're like, oh yeah, you really don't kind of look like that character. You look like you. Like I still see him as younger because he's still Sillinger to me, and he kind of scares me. A little bit scared of J.K. Simmons.
Well, bro, with those arms he fucking pulled out of nowhere a couple of years ago, you should be scared. What the fuck?
I'm a little bit scared of him.
A guy with a beard that big and white? No, he's got no right having arms that big.
Yeah, he's a terrifying individual. I wouldn't want him to be my grandfather.
It's like the movie where Goldberg played Santa.
If I knew that terrifyingness was related to me, it would be cool. Like I wouldn't be scared of that.
But what about you, Bill? How did you feel about just like the scene where, because we seen other moments in Invincible where they make it seem very Justice League-y, where it's like, oh, this ragtag team is gonna beat this bad guy team, and then they flip it on its head, and it gets super violent and super tragic and super sad. How did you feel about that last scene?
This is like The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like you never know, except for in this, you never know who's gonna die. Nobody's safe.
Look at this power. Like,
there's no plot,
kind of
no
power
plot
is he
armor
fucking
on
using?
anybody. There's no plot armor on anybody. Spoiler alert.
He fucking, how did he do that? How did he eat her?
Well,
is his organs all his organs are super strong, and he can
just
tighten
his neck up.
Damn it, Terry! Don't skip neck day.
Right.
I was just like, yeah, there's no way he could. No, he sure did.
Turns out there's a way.
How did he do that? Like, I'm real confused.
This is the way. Yeah, it's pretty tragic. Like this whole scene, because they kind of set it up. We'll get to it a little bit later, but half of or even more than half of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Globe. Guardians of the Globe. They have to go out and fight some other existential threat, which leaves Rex
Guardians
Shrink
of
Ray
the Galaxy.
It's a different GOG. But yeah, Rex,
you're silly.
Rex, Shrink Ray, and Duplicate have to fend off the Lizard League. And
which I like that they made. It's just a quick side note. I like they made Shrink Ray a girl in this one, because the dude version in the comics looks like a fucking chimp.
So you're happy that they killed women.
Well, I mean, yeah, Alex told me to say that.
I'm feeding them notes behind
the women's.
Alex like, dude, I can't say it. They're gonna know.
Speak my truth.
Since we're still talking about Rex, can we talk about how he did murk all of these people basically?
I don't want to stop on his dick. Let me.
Wow. Good thing.
No, we're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, no.
I just set up the fucking question. Then,
but
that's a lot.
Well, okay, here's a question though. You said all these guys,
except for the one dude.
Yeah. And technically, Rex doesn't murk this dude. This dude's a fucking idiot and eats an exploding thing.
I mean, he was.
Rex didn't like.
Anyway.
Well, but like, I'm just saying, like, this wasn't Rex's plan. This was a real happy coincidence. The best way to lose your hand.
It's what he was trying to do. Oh, I felt like.
But still.
Got him.
I still give it to Rex. I give that kill to Rex. Like, on purpose or not. I still give it to him.
It seems like it feels like a natural thing to do in a brutal fight for your life type of thing. If
to
a
eat a hand, an exploding hand.
That was not a good move. But he did just eat his friend.
Yeah, he just ate a guy or ate a person. Like, so
he ate a guy who's.
Did you just assume their gender?
No, he ate a guy who was a guy, but now it's a woman.
Yeah.
That's accurate. And yeah, like it seems like natural for a person with his like through the actions that he's made today.
And do you think that's like Do you think that's his snake thing? Like he's supposed to kind of like be a boa constrictor or some shit? Yeah.
Anaconda, something like that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But I don't understand why that. Well, no, because they're the lizard league.
Yeah.
Snakes,
reptiles, lizards, whatever. So he's a Komodo dragon, though.
Yeah, I was about to say he's like the Komodo dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he's like this guy. He uses his hands to make use his powers. I'm just gonna eat that hand and also lunch. Like it's a twofer.
Yeah. Also, dude, you're not yourself when you're hungry. You know.
I guess maybe he thought if he ate his hand, he couldn't charge it up all the way fast enough.
I mean, I think he also just thought he was strong enough to withstand it. Because that's the other thing. Like Rex was throwing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but earlier when Rex was throwing the explodies around, I think a couple hit the guy. Yeah, and he was just like, whatever.
Yeah. He was like,
pineapple looked like explodies.
Pineapple looked like explodies. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
You
call him
I know.
explodies.
Have y'all addressed our man? God, what is his name? Bob. He's not. He looks like Bob grown up.
Donald.
Donald. Yeah.
No, we haven't gotten to Donald yet. No. Let's get into Donald before we talk about the simultaneous finale with that happened with the Lizard League.
Well, I got something to talk about before that too. So I got one for after Donald.
Okay.
Right.
I'm very curious how you guys felt about this.
My question to the group would be, how would you feel? You work for Cecil, you know what your agency does, you know what y'all are all about. You died, and then you got brought back as a super cyborg. Are you cool with it, or are you gonna be mad?
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, like, are you gonna be mad?
So, okay, here's the thing. I'll be cool with it after a while. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be like, because in my mind, and you know what? The thing that I'm going to be most pissed about is that you just didn't tell me. You just let me think I was normal for fucking forever, you know? Like if Cecil had told him right away
about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think Donald's also a professional enough and he's seen creepy and crazy enough shit that he would have, like, if he was just told right from the get-go, you know? Yeah. Also, I would have been a little pissed that you still, like, you put this all together and I still have a gut. You fucking kidding me?
Right?
No abs,
muscles. I'd be like, Look, you lied to me. You're gonna take me back up in there. You're gonna fix this up. I'm gonna be looking sexy and shit. And
you see that fire hose? I got some ideas for downstairs.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be mad, and then you're gonna like redesign me to my specifications. You're gonna make some improvements.
If you guys didn't watch the episode, or if you
the fire hose,
it's gonna be one of those things when you're mad at your parents because they did something wrong and they know they're wrong, and so they're like, "You want some McDonald's?" And you're like, "Yeah, I want some McDonald's." So I was like, if Cecil would have came up to me like, "Well, you want a bigger dick?" I'm like,
"All right."
I'll take it.
I want a bigger
I'm not gonna say no.
And you'd forgive him after a while, as long as he tried to make it right that way. I'm like, yeah,
man, you know I want a bigger dick.
If you guys need,
can I still have a big dick and it be practical for practical?
Have you seen those Legos that like I want to be able to bend it how I want? I want to make balloon animals out of my dick.
I need it to vibrate. I know some freaks.
If you guys need a quick refresher, at the GDA, Donald confronts Cecil about his body. Cecil reveals
not his dick though.
Not his dick, not that part of his body. Cecil reveals he successfully recovered Donald's brain and placed it in a robotic exoskeleton, endoskeleton, some kind of skeleton.
I think exo.
Endocrine system.
And honestly, I'm not trying to be mean, but
why?
Do you guys care about this storyline? Because I feel because there's so much going on, there's so many like very high stakes plates being spun right now.
I do.
Were you
like
just
Donald.
waiting for the next? So you were invested in the Donald story.
I'm kind of invested in the Donald. I was real sad when he like went out like a G like that, and I was like, well, I expected that. Donald was kind of a G the whole time, but it's sad that his story ends up here. And so they brought him back as a cyborg robot. Now I'm pretty invested in it. I gotta say, I like Donald.
I agree with that. Also, I agree. I like Donald. I like that they brought him back. I actually do now. Like I said, if like things a bit different, yeah, I would have been like cool about it. But I like that they didn't do it that way. I also like that they're kind of throwing some like, hey, Cecil's gonna get the job done. Morals don't come into it a lot for him.
Yeah.
That's
why I was just like, why is he so mad? You know who the fuck you work for, bro? Like, you gotta expect that shit to happen. Like, he's gonna get turned into a cyborg. I would just be mad that he didn't respect me enough to act like I couldn't fucking handle it when I've been with you thick and thin. I fucking died for you.
Well, and the funny
died for you for the mission. And you don't trust me to be like, hey, I brought you back because you're so good at your job as a robot. But like, hell yeah, you brought me back because I'm so good at my job.
Well, and the funny part is,
I think there's still a good chance that he was always a robot.
I don't think
that's kind of what I was expecting them to say, that there's been like several generations of this.
I almost thought that's what he was trying to imply. He was like, "This is you should have saw that," because he was like, "You should have saw the earlier versions of you." So I was
right.
But I'm curious, like, because Bill, like, as one of the things I was kind of thinking about is, we saw in the first season so many different operatives from this organization just get killed and dismantled, but Donald is the one that gets brought back. Do you feel like that there's like maybe some sort of emotional connection where like this is Cecil's best friend and that's why he wants to bring him back?
That's why I said this is not his first rodeo as far as being brought back. I think that I'm pretty sure that's how they did it in the comics. He was already a robot. But regardless, I think he was a robot first anyway, and then they just put it back together, and then he ended up realizing it. But then Cecil ended up telling him like, "Yo, this is your purpose."
Right.
This is like the 10th time he's just had this conversation, and he knows
right.
Hide it from him each time.
Right.
Yeah. They do this thing over.
Without spoiling anything from the comics, they've definitely changed some things with their relations in this. But there's some ways to tie there's some ways to tie it into the way it plays out in the comics, but they've set it up the beginning of their relationship in an interesting way where it can kind of play out in any number of ways.
So I guess
tomorrow.
You sure do. So I guess one of the other questions is, here's my big question is, do you guys think that his brain was actually recovered, or do you think Cecil's just telling him that like to kind of like placate him, while at the same time it was just like, I just downloaded like all either he downloaded his memories or like, hey, I mean, obviously everything
his memories are probably
building,
being uploaded all the time wirelessly to some data bank, and
or maybe it wasn't even
out
that
the part where he dies each time.
Maybe it's even less of his memories. Maybe it's more just like, hey, they're being filmed in that building all the time. They just took all that footage and like created an AI or a Donald AI or some shit.
Right.
I mean, that's the other thing is I would not put anything past Uncle Baby Cecil.
Uncle Baby Cecil.
Yep.
and we've already seen like with like seeing in other universes that Cecil cannot be without Donald. Like
Chixel?
Yeah.
Chixel and Donisha. We've seen them in the alternate universe. But I feel like that like
Danold.
that was a fun Donica. I like Donica. It was a nice little like fun nod, but I feel like maybe it was even more of a character moment where we see that these people can't be without each other. Maybe just see how much Cecil is obsessed with Donald.
I can't quit you.
He's a codependent. They're in a codependent relationship.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship, I feel like.
Well, yeah, the symbiote
Symbiote's
relationships
not
work
good.
so well in comics.
You know what?
And
Let's
that's a
just-
nice segue.
It is a beautiful segue. Let's go ahead and talk about these symbiote-like creatures.
I got one before we go there.
Ooh, oh yeah, there's something you wanted.
Just what do we think about Mark and his mom and his little baby brother?
Oh,
His little half insect, half bro.
Kind of skip
Yeah,
that. Bruh, I definitely wouldn't have brought that kid to my mom, and I would have gave him the Cecil. Like, I am not about like, come on, like, he's really gonna be like, hey, mom, guess what? Your crazy husband, he's still alive, and he also has he fucked some other bitch already. He's already over you, and
A bug
this
bitch.
is that child, and you gotta help me raise him. Clearly, like, what? Like you. You knew your mom was gonna help you raise that fucking kid. Why would you do that to her? But I mean, she seems kind of cool with it. She looks like she's at that stage where she needs a grandbaby or another child to give her purpose. So maybe it's working. But
Yeah,
come on, I wouldn't do that to that woman.
It's a tough situation to be in because like you're just kind of presented with this situation, but I totally get Mark,
purple nigga that looks like your ex-husband.
Also, let's
Fuck
remember,
that,
I think we learned something important in this episode. Peach and blue make purple.
Right.
Peach and blue.
Yeah, I learned that in the episode of Barney.
Yeah. At least he's still purple or blue in the comics.
But yeah, I'm curious, like how you guys felt because like we talked about a little bit about Debbie taking on raising this little kid, but also Mark deciding to take on the responsibility because he's the initial person who takes it on. Bill, like I personally saw a lot of parallels between Clark and Mark in this because he's just like such a nice person, such an
because of the rhymes.
Person.
Yeah,
of course the rhymes. It's because of the hackers. But I did feel like that they there was like a sort of commonality between those two because he's just so good. He just couldn't let this child be raised in this situation that the guy described. How did you feel about that?
Who?
Mark and his son, his brother, like were like he decided to raise the kid with his mom instead of living them on.
I mean, it is an interesting part in the comic book. It's like important part of this series going forward, but I didn't care. I was like, who cares?
So my big thing about this is actually one of those things that I 100% think
baby mama drama shit.
I think they fixed what they fucked up in the comic on this. Because in this, Mark is willing, he's ready. Like, hey, I'll take some time off college. I'll figure this out. I'll figure out how we're we're gonna raise him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Debbie is like, no, you're not gonna do that. We'll figure it out. I'll help and blah blah blah. Whereas in the comic, he just flat out goes, so mom, can you raise my half bug, half brother? The one that dad fucked a praying mantis and then made this. Can you just watch him? Okay, thanks, bye. And it's just such a dick move.
Such a dick move. That's why I was like, well, it looks like she was cool with it. And he talked to her about it and he's fixing it. But oh man, it's worse than the comics.
Oh, it's so much better than it's so much worse than the comics. But so a lot of the issues with the comics are like that's not how a person would react. And the show fixes a lot of that, especially here. Even just like this part where like we're watching Debbie freak out. Like, dude, what the fuck? You just told me your dad was still alive, that he was boning some bed bug. Like, come on.
Then that planet got fucked up. Like he just fucking shit up, huh?
Right.
Your dad's just a fucked up man.
So that was just, I was real happy with when I was breaking down that issue, that was like a big fucking problem I had. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're really? This is some bullshit. I spent the entire issue just calling Mark a fucking idiot. So, I mean, I'm glad that they corrected that.
Yeah, it's interesting because like in comics, or I definitely gave it like some passes when they were going through this part of the comic because you kind of need to get on to the next thing. And it's this emotionality, I imagine, is really hard to
He's gonna
convey.
keep using that now.
It's a real word. I've been using it for years.
He's summoning my Lord and Savior.
It's a shot every time he says emotionality. That's a shot.
But yeah, like I felt like them. I forgot what I was talking about. But
talking about the emotionality.
Just how like they can take a little more time than they did in the comic.
Right.
Yeah.
They can really dive into their emotionality.
Yeah.
Their emo state in life. Because really, this whole fucking comic book is emo as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what they say? Open your heart.
That is what they say.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then this episode is a lot more like grounded and emotional. I really like how they take the time to dive into all of the emotional stakes of everything before we get to the heightened last like 5 or 6 minutes of the episode. Did
it
you
was
guys
definitely
feel,
a good
did you guys
thing we had
like
54 minutes for this episode, because if they tried doing this into 30, it would have been a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, like did you guys like the pacing of this episode? Did y'all feel like it was nicely balanced? Producer T?
Yeah, I like the way it was going. Definitely upset that how the cliffhanger ending. I was like, oh man. But I mean, like the way it was going, I was like, it has to end soon, right? Because this is getting a little long for a bit. But
a little long in the tooth.
No, I thought it was okay. But I'm also not really sure what they've cut out from the comic book and where we at this point probably.
We skipped about 5 issues.
Yeah, and it's better that way.
Yeah, but and like some of the big stuff in those issues was like that was already covered in season 1, so we're good.
Yeah, they've done a good job of like streamlining the whole storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And like we mentioned, the Guardians of the Galaxy, or sorry, the Guardians of the Globe
again. Yeah, damn.
Got split up. The Guardians discover a Martian ship bound for Earth, prompting Shapesmith to reveal his identity that everybody apparently already knew.
Another part better than the comics. In the comics, Cecil's like, "What?" And this one, Cecil's like, "Did you think we didn't fucking know? You stupid."
Yeah, which is
so much better.
Yeah, it makes
so
more
much
sense.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, like it would make some little sense if he didn't know exactly what was
My
going
question
on.
was, why didn't they just like shoot that fucking ship out of the sky? They don't have planetary defenses yet. I would have.
There's a human on there.
Well, that is one thing that I liked. Like later on in the episode where they're getting attacked by the Martian ship, they're like, "This isn't Star Trek. We don't have any defenses."
And they
So,
had
like,
Zachary Quinto say it.
right?
Yeah.
Fucking Spock.
That is, I didn't even think
But
about that.
still, they had that one space laser that they beamed at Nolan. They didn't have like another one ready to like.
Oh shit, that's
do that
actually a
stuff
good
when it
point.
comes at us.
Well, but so okay, so one, that's a satellite facing away or facing towards the Earth. But two, the bigger one for me was like they're still using like a rocket with like the boosters and shit. We don't have like a better technology than that. Like that was the part where I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that was surprising. Like well, not surprising, but I like the way they explained that they don't have this super high tech sci-fi technology. Is like, hey, we out here
with all this like weird shit that be happening. You'd think they'd have like more confiscated alien tech by now.
You'd think.
Or you would think they'd be in. They already had a Martian, so they'd be like, "Oh, there's Martians."
Well, I think
what else is probably out there? And then Nolan's a Viltrumite. He comes down. And you're like, huh.
But he just flew in.
So
like reverse engineer.
That's even scarier. I'd be
they
like,
can't like reverse engineer a ship or anything,
But still, I'd be like, we need to start.
Yeah, I agree.
Stuff like,
I do. By the way,
think man, I just thought maybe they'd have worked a little bit harder on their space defenses.
No, I agree with you there. I do think a part of the reason why they didn't just shoot out of the sky is because also like I don't think they want to kill off all of the Martians. I think that's one of those like, hey, maybe if we make friends with them, we can get some tech. You know?
Yeah, I can see that, like some intergalactic relations. It's like,
right. That just sounded, dude. That just straight sounded like space fucking.
Is that not what we're talking about?
That's what we're all here for. That's why we all showed up. Right?
That's why we're here. Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, after Eve has a pep talk with Rex, Cecil recruits her and Mark to join the Guardians in
Uncle Baby
thwarting
Cecil.
Uncle Baby Cecil. Go outside, nerd. They help the Guardians in thwarting and the invasion on Earth, but they are overwhelmed by the Sequids. I thought this was like a nice little double cliffhanger where we have the situation where we don't know what's going to happen with Rex, and then we don't know what's going to happen with the Guardians out in space. They both seem like this very similar, like or very regular monster of the week kind of situation. Is like, oh, our good guys are going to save the day in any like Justice League Unlimited kind of way where they overcome the odds. But it seems like people are gonna die. How did you guys feel about this like double cliffhanger at the end of this episode? Producer T.
Oh, definitely was showing like nobody's really safe. I mean, at the beginning of this episode, I was just reminded that Mark gets his ass kicked a lot. I was like, yeah. I was like, out of all the superheroes I've ever seen, this motherfucker gets his ass beat. Like a lot of fights, he gets beat.
Yeah, Invincible might not be the best name,
right? It's more like get your ass kicked, man. I'm ass kicked, man. Like, why is it in past tense like that? Because you're probably gonna kick my ass.
And he doesn't even get the fun saying shit where at least he gets like 20 times stronger for getting his ass beat.
No, he's just not seeming to make a lot of improvements. So just
it's because he doesn't
also seeing that anybody else can get murked. I'm just like, all right, all bets are off on the table from here on out. And just at the last, what Morgan just said about the last part of the ending, I was like, yeah, I thought Seth Rogen was going to be gone, but I guess Seth Rogen, he's staying up, right? Like he's Super Saiyan.
Yes, there's things that are revealed.
Like he almost died, and now he's all buffed. So okay,
I just
do that yet.
I don't think this is a spoiler. I think it's revealed in the comic. It's just revealed when Alan wakes up. It's a combo of that machine and just his DNA, the DNA that he has.
So yeah, 9. Add a question. I don't know how to answer this poll. Yes, he was always an android, or yes, he's a new android. I'm talking about Donald. I put a poll up. Is Donald's android body the first time that he's been an android, or was he always an android?
Yeah, like is it like a legacy of androids that he's been using for years, or is it the first time that he was like died and came back,
droided up?
I could see him lying to him. He's like, "No, this is the first time."
Why wouldn't he? That's all Cecil does.
Yeah,
is lie.
And why would they have another exoskeleton there if this is the first time?
I mean, there can also
would there be just a whole nother extra ass body for you?
Right. And remember, it kind of threw me off. I was like, that's weird.
And remember, it doesn't necessarily need to be his current memories. Like, fuck, Cecil could have had this conversation with him like a bunch of times, and it keeps going bad. And he's like, Control Alt Delete. Just start over, reboot.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which was a great story for a shitty animation. I loved that show.
I loved that show too. Yeah, great description. That a great story for shitty animation. Shout outs to Mainframe. But what happened at the end of this episode? What were we talking about?
Well, it just so it's just another one of how do we feel about the double cliffhangers? I also loved it. I thought it was a really great way of ending the episode. And it was another one of those where I was just sitting there, I was like, you fucking kidding me? But like, I'm not mad. I'm like excited now for the next episode.
Yeah.
And it was also one of those ones where I was just like, bro, I did not realized like that was 54 minutes. That did not feel like 54 minutes. It was a good fucking episode. But yeah, and then it just ends with shit. Eve's shield broke. No one's Shapesmith and Mark should be fine, but the rest of them are gonna get all sequited. And then and then Rexplode finishes killing the guys, and he's like, oh, thank God. And then King Bitch Baby walks in and just points a gun right at his head.
King Bitch Baby.
He's such a tool, and just like, you're the weakest, bitchiest of the group. Why are you in charge? That's nepotism.
I mean, he ended up that one dude who tried to usurp him with just a bullet and a gun. I mean,
yeah,
that's all you really need sometimes is a fucking bullet and a gun. He's just showing you don't need all that fancy shit.
Which was also that moment was hilarious, both on the show and the comic.
Like he just showed up and it was like, "Who are you? Who's gonna lizard people? I'm pretty sure it's me, Lizard King."
Man, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next episode, because they have been changing some things. So I feel like I don't even feel comfortable like pretending I know what's gonna happen next. But hopefully
I'm really I'll be caught up by our next review.
Yeah. How far are you like coincided with the story of the show right now?
So I've recorded scripts, or I've recorded videos up until the video that I recorded videos up until the beginning of this episode.
Okay.
Then I've written scripts for everything leading up to the beginning of them going after the Martians.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, it's a lot of typing fast and not necessarily doing my job. But yeah, it's just one of those. I should be good. Maybe it'll be fun. But all right. So
it took 1 hour to write. I thought it would take 1 hour to read, type of situations.
I will say this, just a part I want to point out. Rex had my favorite fucking line in this episode, and it was literally just when Cecil teleports in and he just goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
Rex
people try to kill me every day, right?
I was trying to talk about that in the chat earlier. Like, Rex is fully aware that this job sucks, and also he has nothing else to do. But people are always trying to kill us all the time.
Yeah.
Also, that fucker wasn't going to share any garlic nuts.
Yeah, it's like get
a second order. Yeah,
I'm gonna eat that all by myself. Yeah.
I do that. Y'all want a pizza? Okay, well,
but,
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get another one, Duno.
I also got a question for the group, but it's not necessarily with this episode.
Hold on.
So it should be at the end of we're done.
Hold on, there's another poll up. Will a hero die in the next episode? Go ahead, Jeff.
All right. Well, do we want to talk more about this episode? Because my question is not necessarily about this episode.
No. That's just the poll that's on the chat right now.
No. I'm just saying. If we have anything else about this episode, we should probably cover that before I go into my question.
Nah, I mean, I feel like I got all my thoughts out.
All right.
Producer, do you have any more thoughts about this episode before we?
No, I think we got it all pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just Googling how to spell someone's name, or no, I was trying to Google what Amber's last name was, and I saw a YouTube video that I did not watch because the title alone was like, this is a dumb motherfucker, in my opinion. This dude is arguing. So you're gonna know where my stance is on it. This dude's arguing that show version of Amber is way worse than comic version of Amber. What do you guys think of that?
No.
Well, what I'm gonna say is no spoilers. It doesn't matter.
My thing is, like, the comic Amber isn't like a full fucking person. At least the show Amber.
You're right about that.
She's got a personality. She's actually someone. Whereas the show, it's just like, do you Okay, Kirkman, no offense. I love the show. I love the comic. Did you meet any girls before you wrote the character of Amber? I don't think so, man.
Nope.
In my opinion, like
Go
Amber.
outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
I'll say real quick because like the comic book of Invincible was very much just like just let's exploit all these tropes that are existent in comic books and
Tropes and tropes.
I feel like Robert Kirkman was just trying to like explore that duality of the superheroes. Like you can have your black cat or your
and
cat.
eat it too.
Yeah, you can have your you can have your black cat. You can have your black cat and your Catwoman. As far as like the person who's like more attuned to your vigilante side and like your superhero side and is able to relate to you in that sense, or you can have your Vicky Vale or your Mary Jane, who's like your more normal person. And,
Mary Jane,
like,
not her sister Ashley.
Mary Jane.
Yeah, I saw what you were about to say.
Yeah, Mary Jane Olsen. But
Mary Jane and Ashley Olsen.
But yeah, it's like that duality of just like in tune with your passion as far as like you're like, oh, I just want to settle down and not worry about anything like too complex. I just want to have a normal life.
Right.
Yeah, that duality.
Man, I just realized like this time next year we'll have 200 episodes.
Yeah.
Of this podcast.
Nuts.
It's gonna be a lot.
Next week.
We've been doing this
episode
for a while.
160 up next week. Episode 160.
160.
What I will say about this episode is that Amber's on the way out. They're setting it up. You can see it. She's on the way out. We don't relate no more, bitch. I just went to space.
Which is
You can't do that.
And honestly,
you can never go to space with me, bitch.
I don't know. I think season 1 of show Amber was the fucking worst.
I don't like her character.
But that was better than comic book Amber still. Because again,
that's because comic book Amber doesn't exist. She's just there to
she's
be
just this
she has no personality. She has no real role.
Boring little white girl.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's like the white girl that Sack Shock had a crush on. I was like, oh, I can't hang out with you this weekend. I gotta go do some shit. Like it's very like
I gotta go to my grandma's house this weekend.
It's very surface level. Like
yeah. Well, so the same issue I had. My thing is like, okay, in the show they act more like a real person would act. I'm a real boy, dude. Same with
except for that season 1.
Like this Amber.
Season 1 parts. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, still. Anyway, God, I just want it to be Thursday. I want another episode. Right? It's so good.
Another episode. Well, this is why
if this was Thursday, you'd be watching the Bantha Bunch with your boy Bill. The Bantha Bunch show every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be me, but not sounding like this, hopefully. Most likely not.
God, that'd be an issue if you still sounded like this by Thursday.
I can still go 3 hours, baby. I mean, I won't. Hopefully, I won't. Hopefully, we'll get done faster than that.
Yeah, like this is one of those like really weirdly.
I feel like I sound like Shawn Michaels.
I make him hot. You know I'm sexy.
I send chills up and down man's spine.
That's such a weird song. He just sings in the
just a sexy
most
boy,
unconventional way.
I'm not your boy, toy. No, you see him in the booth. I'm just a sexy boy. He in the booth like, I'm not your boy, toy. They think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy.
I always like Hollywood Hogan's theme, though.
Wait, which one? Because there are 3.
when he was Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah,
I am
that was the shit.
and that,
Yes,
that's
that was
just
so. That was wrong.
Yeah, that's just Jimi Hendrix.
It was,
But
but
it worked for him.
It was Jimi Hendrix.
Also, Vince McMahon.
I am a real American.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, he had different era.
Slap.
He was a
He
good.
had different eras.
I
knew-
would
he
slap
knew how to
cheeks
market
to
himself.
I would slap cheeks to I am a real American. You know what I'm saying? To get you right in the mode.
He knew how to evoke an emotion. He had like good intro music for all of his eras.
Get it in there. And right after that, play
Get it in there.
Eye of the Tiger.
He was in one of the Rocky movies.
He was,
Forgot
but
about
like
that.
play that right after it, then you get boy, you talking about
Man, you all know his best thing he's ever done, Gremlins 2.
no, the best thing Hulk Hogan ever did was that Thunderbolt show. What was
No, it was like Mr. Nanny.
no, it
wasn't
was
it?
his boat show.
No.
Y'all ain't never seen
It
this
was
TV
the-
show.
It was the TV show
Y'all gotta see this TV show. It's him
where he played like a speedboat private investigator,
yes.
mercenary in the
My
in the
God.
swamps of Florida.
It was on Channel USA.
It was amazing. It was so stupid. But
It's making me so fucking
honestly,
Mr. Nanny was the best one.
hold this.
man,
Shit. Wow, I looked
Suburban
this shit up.
Commando, Suburban Commando. I don't know.
Suburban
There's a
Commando.
lot
I'm
of
sticking with
gems.
Gremlins 2.
There's a lot of great Hulk Hogan gems out there. But I guess we should probably wrap things up because we can
Fuck
talk
that. No.
No. Are you about to play a thing?
No, I'm about to pull it up.
Hulk Hogan TV show. Oh, it
Yeah.
surprisingly came up.
Nigga, I know what I'm
immediately.
talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Don't ever play me out like
Came up
that.
so fast.
Don't play me out like
So
that.
weird.
Y'all need culture in your life right now.
I'm good.
Kind of looks like Planet Earth right now.
Jerry Hulk Hogan.
This
We
is
gotta
what
go.
this means on Dwayne the Rock Johnson. That he's like
Oh yeah.
the Hulk Hogan.
There's a hurricane blowing in,
These motherfuckers riding a combat speedboat.
waiting in
Now, this boat, well, you know, you gotta have TNA, but this boat has like missiles. It's like a submarine. It's
Super high tech.
it's super high tech.
over
but-
the water.
Instead
You're not
of
gonna
Knight
get-
Rider, it's Boat Rider.
Waiting,
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
baby, I wanna hear him.
God
watched-
bless this motherfucker right here. Like, I don't know how he did this. It took it serious, but it was actually not a bad fucking TV show. I mean, for a TV show,
From what I remember, I definitely watched it every fucking week. Like,
yeah, we
I
watched
was
it every week.
in on this.
We ain't
shit.
talking about. Yeah, this dude, Chris Lemon. Oh my god! Shout out to this dude. Didn't he do that Cadillac commercial everybody was mad about? Came on through the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
I do not
He
remember.
was like, "We're fucking America. Suck our dick."
Oh, I
It's
don't know that. I don't think that's the same guy. That's not the same guy.
not the same guy. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy.
He's more Aryan.
If you liked Pacific Blue, if you liked what was the other one? What was the other show? Silk Stockings, Baywatch, all of those.
Stockings. What?
If you liked any of those, then that's
Film Nikita.
La Film Nikita. If you liked any of that, that's the same block. We're talking about
I'm
the
about to
same block.
blow your mind.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
I kind of do remember the show like a little bit, but yeah, because I remember all those other shows real well.
Yes, please let us know in the comments if you know this show.
Thunder,
'cause it's
Thunder
very,
Paradise.
very specific.
Hulk
corner of
Hogan's-
nostalgia.
Hulk Hogan stated in an interview that he did not get to keep the Thunder Scarab boat used on screen, but he had one built. Hogan said
Oh my
Hogan said he made the decision when he was heavily medicated after a surgery.
Yeah, you know, brother, I made a decision.
That's pretty great because that could have happened at any time in his life because he's
Right?
so like perpetually injured. It could be at any time in his
He
life.
had like 36
That could have
surgeries in
been
his life.
that could have been last week, man.
Yeah.
See what Morgan said. Morgan was in there. Morgan knows.
Morgan said, Thunder in Paradise was great at the time. LOL. Yeah, it was great. I watched it every week. I was a huge fan.
It's no Mandalorian, but it'll get you through some hard times, man.
Guys, if you guys want to see a Mandalorian,
Xena. If you like Xena, you'll like it.
Oh man. Oh, Xena versus Hercules video. That could be a good one. That could be a good one.
Yeah, Thunder in Paradise versus Briscoe County Jr.
That'll be a good one too. Yeah, I love Briscoe County Jr.
Yeah, nobody knows what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, we're off on an island.
Morgan knows what we're talking about.
But yeah, I guess before we get out of here, because we've gone way off the rails. We're not talking about it anymore. We haven't talked about Invincible for the last 15 minutes. But before we get out of here,
goes on Drunk Banthas, baby.
Before we get out of here,
We don't get drunk for nothing.
yeah.
It should be on a t-shirt.
We don't get
drunk for nothing. That's the Drunk Banthas channel.
Producer T, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Always on the Instagram at Terry F Photos, or go to tpens.com and you can get your hands on this hot new pen. Oh yeah, like that.
Oh, shit.
Get it before Christmas. Get it before it sells out on Christmas.
God damn. That's
a really good one.
Spot. Guys, yeah, definitely check that out. If you don't remember everything he just said because you're as drunk as I am, it will be in the video description. Jeff, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Well, the best way to try and find me is to try and Skype me. Try and Skype with me. Don Cheadle's Driveway at littledickie2.com. It's it's because of the hackers. Yeah. You can try and find Jeff Madel on Facebook, Madel Jeff on Instagram, or honestly, the easiest way is probably just keep checking out Drunk Banthas and Nerds at Night on Mondays.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that Invincible video they're going to be coming out with. Like, I'm waiting with tooth and nail.
Well, so I'm gonna
knock somebody's tooth out.
So punch someone in the mouth. Hoping
I'm
that
definitely gonna just do some simple breakdowns of each issue. But what I'm really excited about is I'm gonna do like stupid things they did with their powers or smart things they did with their powers. I'm gonna do big differences between the show and the comic, and yeah, I think I'm gonna have some fun with it. And obviously, you're welcome to join any of them.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you to say.
I mean, I won't put any of your footage on there, but you're still welcome to be there.
You will be heavily edited out.
Hey guys, definitely keep your ear to the ground for Jeff's video about Invincible coming out, and go over to Nerds at Night to check out producer T's video about black people in social media, or viral social media.
Viral memes and videos.
Yeah. Just black people on social media. That's gonna be a long video, man. He's just like
96 minutes long.
He's just going through TikTok. Here's one. Ooh, here's another
one. We have a poll.
Oh yeah, what the poll? Yes, please.
Will another hero die in the next episode? It is 50-50.
Oh damn, is it really?
I'm leaning to yeah.
God damn, that's pretty.
I can't vote, so
yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Well, me and producer T are saying yeah, so
yeah, I would say yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it would be pretty on brand for the show to just kill somebody in the next episode.
Main hero. I mean, which one would y'all say is gonna go if somebody gotta go?
Oh, and what was the other poll? There was the other poll about
No, I was right. But it was 100% if you want to know the answer.
100%.
Oh wait,
I'm trying to
there's
think
another-
who was all on the ship. So I know it's not gonna be
Samson.
it might be Black Samson. I don't. It's not gonna be Bulletproof, obviously.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
He's gonna be
He's
here
got
for a
some shit.
while.
Not gonna be Eve.
It's not gonna be Eve. It's not gonna be Mark. It could be the Martian dude. I feel like they can get rid of him.
Shave Smith. Oh, you know what they might do? They might do an immortal death.
Yeah, they could get rid of Immortal again.
And then
Yeah,
he just
I
comes
think
back again.
it could be anybody.
I
Yeah.
feel like maybe Monster Girl could get it.
What if they do just
yeah,
a
guys,
real fun twist and they blow up Earth? There's no more episodes.
Oh.
Morgan thinks it's going to be Invincible in the next episode.
No, he said
we got-
it's invincible.
Oh, no,
Someone
it-
always dies.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Guys, let us know in the comments who you think is going to eat it in the next episode. Thank
Oh
you
yeah,
guys
the
for
last
listening
poll.
to
The
the
last poll was Invincible season 2, episode 5. 100% loved it. No mess.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to the Drunk Banthas podcast. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific time, but don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Check us out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, Letterboxd, likewise, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas. Until next time, stay safe, my little
Oh, it
sequids.
died.
Yeah, stay safe, my little sequids, and may the force be with you. You just end it.
Yeah, I can just end it.
Yeah, just end it. We're done here.
Oh man.
Bye.